can kind of set up the Ziggs ult.
And you've got non-committal options as well, like the public execution. It's kind of a masterclass here from T1. Draft looking good, but let's get onto the Rift and see what happens. Okay, I don't know whether my headphones are just not working as well at canceling the noise from outside, or whether it's just way louder in here on both sides. Lolpark kind of just erupted, but you love to see it. And this is, of course, a pivotal match. This is either Worlds or go home. Stay in the running for the LCK trophy or just go home. As yeah, that was me. That was the live reaction to what had happened. And then I made sure that I hydrated. You guys should.
Stay hydrated, yeah.
Got to make sure you do that.
This is a sort of game where if you don't remind yourself to drink, you will just be staring at the screen with your mouth open, captivated.
Exactly. And then it goes dry, and then you won't be able to commentate, okay? And you want to be able to commentate.
Yeah.
Or at least we do.
Speaking for experience.
Yeah. Can only speak for myself, but you guys might also be commentating at home. I don't know. That's a great way to practice. If you do want to be a commentator, it's totally a good idea. You don't need to be recording everything you do. Sometimes it is just about getting the reps in. But that's not what today is about. Today is about T1 or DK. Which one of these teams is going to Worlds? Will it be 7 in a row for DK? Or will it be 5 in a row for T1? And can they defend their World Championship? We mentioned already, the MSI champions, they're already there. LCK champions, they're already there. Defending World Champions still yet to make it. Ah, KT's also there for some reason.
They're just there.
They're just there. Just KTing their way there. Off the back of an incredible performance and one of the greatest series that we've ever had the pleasure of witnessing to really add some turmoil here to the LCK for 2025 as we've got a lot of action happening here. Showmaker gets Faker down below 100 health. He is looking for a bit of an angle as Faker sticking around. A little dangerous. Does have some potions to get through, but Showmaker does get the poison down. And Faker really does need to be careful. A couple of Twin Fangs and he could be dead. As we do see there's a Nocturne lurking, but yeah, level 3 Nocturne ganks, not a thing.
And you know, we have seen this matchup a good amount, the Cassiopeia into Ryze, but we haven't really seen it be this favorable. It's kind of been the matchup where, you know, you pick it because it does well later in the game. The lane can be successful, but it's been a lot more even than we've seen this. This is really Showmaker putting the hit onto Faker, which is great for Dplus for their odds in this game.
Beryl, a bit of a wander as Keria had left the lane for a few moments. Aiming and Beryl actually playing pretty far up here as the hook is going to connect. Fair bit of damage onto Keria, but he dodges the fast bomb pretty nicely. As here towards the top side, we have a lot of damage being done by both of these top laners. Cannon is going to be secured, and I assume secured. Oh no! Dora not going to be able to get it. And Shiu is going to be winning that lane for now as the pillar comes down in this mid lane. Ona turns up. Flash out from Faker as Ona wants to be able to do battle with Lucid here, but there are a lot of minions and there's an angry snake. So get out of there. As an Australian, I know. Snakes, that's serious business. Just do not... They just don't risk it.
And this is the fact that Faker's already TP'd back to lane and he's in this bad a spot. I mean, it's a great gank from Lucid, forcing Oda to show up to try and help, but Faker's having a horrible time in this lane matchup. Showmaker really putting the pressure on. And considering top lane's going so well, mid lane's going so well, this is exactly the start Dplus need if they're going to find favor in this game.
Yep, and I'm really glad that you brought that up because I think that as this game goes on, T1 have a lot of different avenues. They gave themselves outs in the draft, and I want to go back to what Wolf had already highlighted, right? He set this up, and T1 have been picking drafts with narrow win conditions. This is not one of those drafts. I feel like you have ways back into the game with a comp like this. You can mess with vision, you can side lane if you'd like to, you can control mid-wave pretty comfortably with the Ziggs. I think they have a lot of flexibility as Doran maybe doesn't as much here towards his bottom side. And DK, I think, will need to have a pretty good early game to feel comfortable in this one.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And I think it's important that... Important that like the Renekton is having this lead, and obviously did start off with a bit of an early advantage, but now the swap has come through from T1, and Doran doing a decent job of picking up the farm there. Obviously, he gets chunked out a bit, but has a lot of sustain with the biscuits, with the potions he has, so should be able to farm up on the tower. And Shiwu right now being zoned out pretty heavily, but the wave is going to crash into him.
Yeah, that's a lot of minions that are going to be making their way over to him. As Ona is going to be collecting his raptors. We'll see whether he does try to contest this dragon, as Lucid is on full vision, as now Showmaker is doing once again a lot of damage to Faker. This time, flash advantage for the Cassiopeia as Ona is going to move over vision. Dustbringer comes down, spell shields the Noxious Blast, and the flash has to be employed as Carrier was making his way over. Beryl finding out exactly where Ona is.
Oh, no.
I think his position is also known. Another Dustbringer comes down, as now Beryl does get spotted on that ward, does need to use that dredge line to get himself out of there, and the dragon will be given up and will reset as the flash away as Doran was making his way over. Beryl now in trouble, does manage to buffer the hook pretty nicely as Ona flashes towards him, aiming, trying to get this Nocturne out of there as a public execution. Max range from Doran, and they're able to take down Beryl for first blood.
Honestly, the buffer from Beryl was kind of insane.
Yeah.
And it looked like that could have potentially saved him, but Doran just catches him with that max range public execution.
It looked out of range. I thought it wasn't going to land.
Right on the cusp, you know. That honestly, that's karma for
It absolutely is, yeah, exactly.
You know, the amount of times you've been caught by a dredge line that looks like it shouldn't have hit, so he's on the receiving end of that.
Speaking of which, though, Beryl is going to be able to make his way to lane extraordinarily quickly, and does manage to find a cute little hook onto Doran there.
But it's big because not only do they manage to pick up a kill for the Nocturne, which is an Ultimate Hunter stack, that was, by the way, a P6 Nocturne as well, which is massive, but they stall out this dragon and stop Dplus from able to pick it up. And this is a situation where they'd gone and sort of leant towards the top side, put their bot lane there, and they were sort of losing in the mid lane, and yet they managed to find this favorable play. Beryl, the dredge line buffer was great, but just catches him. Doran moving over perfectly, and the big difference maker being Doran level 6 compared to a level 4 aiming, so much more power there. And obviously that Renekton, not part of that equation.
And also Showmaker just losing his flash in the preceding play, right? So it's T1 making a play and then being able to move on to another one very, very quickly without investing extra resources, right?
Yep,
Carrier was already in the area.
Yeah, Carrier's moved down to punish Showmaker into forcing Beryl into that uncomfortable position was just a great sort of translation of pressure down the map.
Yep, very nicely done here by T1 to get themselves some control back in this game. The gold lead, not really anything to speak of just yet, and we still just have one kill so far, as the Grubs are going to spawn here towards this top side. Ona level 6 is going to wander over some vision. Faker does actually manage to get himself a CS advantage as well in this lane, as Lucid's going to come on over and try and punish him for it.
Honestly, this is one of the frustrating things about playing Trundle into Ryze, is when he just phase rushes and just sprints out of the pillar.
Well,
Doran is about to have TP.
Yeah, but he is right now locked in the bottom lane, and these Grubs are going down. Bouncing Bomb, not going to be enough to steal this one away. As 2 Grubs will be taken, it looks like a third is going to go over to DK here as well. So a little bit of extra side laning power as Mega Inferno steals it away. Never you mind. And yep, Gumushi is pretty good at doing that.
How does he just every time? It's just such a consistent factor. And you know, even
he had
a
ward is probably how.
But even so, I mean, it's just always him.
Yeah,
it's always the one stealing objectives.
Why doesn't every Ziggs do that? Because they're not Gumushi.
That's not him. They're not that guy.
Nope.
But yeah, able to steal away with the ult, able to get that one grub, which in the grand scheme of things isn't massive, but it does make a difference. Obviously stops Dplus from getting the whole 3 in a situation where T1 just weren't really able to contest. We saw the move up from Shiwu, kind of securing control over the area and denying it from T1. So nice little sneak away from Guma just to grab that. Does mean he has down that ultimate, and teams are posturing towards this dragon.
Yeah, Owner is looking to try and put some pressure on this Crab as Lucy's going to get slammed into the wall. There's a Paranoia as well, and Subjugate not going to be enough to save him. I'm not entirely sure what the plan was there as the Realm Warp comes out. Faker is going to make his way over, slows down Shiu here, but he is going to be okay. But it should mean that Dragon Control is well and truly there for T1.
Just a bit disrespectful, I feel like, from Lucid. It was a great stun coming out from Carrier, and then Owner like pre-ulted and they got the vision over the wall, so as soon as Lucid flashed, he just ulted straight after him, was there to follow. It just felt like they completely read Lucid there, and there was really nothing he could do. So not only do they manage to get the kill there, they get the scuttle, they also get the dragon. It's a big influx of gold, and the objective as well for T1.
And we have, we have to go back to what we were talking about earlier on, right? T1, this draft, very flexible, has a lot of options, as Hook is going to catch Doran once again, and even the Valkyrie damage is going to be enough. That was an overstep, and that is one on the board here for DK.
Yeah, a little bit disrespectful. I think another factor is that Beryl having the Spellbook Ignite, the extra damage, I think Doran not fully respecting that. He's so mobile in the Embest, I think he could maybe get away.
And bonk. Very nicely done.
Just nicely timed as well.
Yep. This said got one. And here, I don't. Lucid wanted a crab.
Yeah, gets a bit too close to the wall, and then you see the wards come over the wall before he flashes. They know where he's going to go, and Oda pre-ults, so he has it immediately ready just to fly over after him. And then here, Doran, bit of an overstep for the wave, and it's just read by Beryl extremely well. Like, he pre-fires the Q for when he's going to come in, so obviously a bit of a misplay from Doran, but also a great read from Beryl there to punish.
Yep, it was also the second time Beryl did that. Did that also towards the bottom side of the map, so has his eye in, did also die for first blood. So, you know, we're not going to give him an entire pass for how he's feeling on the day. I think we're going to have a full game's worth of Beryl antics to really make an assessment. As Aiming, looking for some extra plates, does manage to get another one here, as the Corki is very strong. Meanwhile, here towards the bottom side, this Renekton in a bit of trouble, doing a decent job to try and keep himself alive, but it doesn't quite work, as Faker just barely survives. With like, what, double-digit health, single-digit health? He was very close to dead.
And you saw the potions ticking. That made the difference, but now Doran in trouble.
In trouble yet again, as a depth charge going to come down this time around. Will be absorbed there by the ulti, and I don't think he's going to be getting out. That's another kill going over to Aiming, and both of them go into his hands. As Mega Inferno Bomb not going to be enough to save that turret, and it looks like DK will be able to get first brick in this game. It is already Feats of Warfare over to T1, so we are one apiece as far as Feats of Strength are concerned, still just battling over these objectives. Yeah, and
it does mean a massive gold lead for Aiming, because he was just picking up plates in the top side while T1 were making plays on the rest of the map. It was just Aiming, just whittling away at that tower consistently. Also means Beryl's picked up that redemption already, so the bot lane pretty strong for Dplus.
Yeah, we're in prison here. Onda Shu is being held at arm's length by Faker for now. Trinity Force and the Rod of Ages now complete, though. Big item spikes to come in, but let's have a look at this from Faker's perspective. As he's tanking up this turret. Whoa!
Went to 9 HP, so the potion's definitely saving him there.
No reaction, stone cold.
Yeah, and here buffers the ult with his, but then the problem is he ends up in a position where he's like, okay, I need to flash away from the damage, but he pulls away from the tower. I think he was just kind of doomed regardless there. Did his best to try and outplay, but a difficult situation.
Aiming is he's storming the IKEA, man. Like, he's just got plates all over the place.
Yeah, and, you know, feels bad for the Ziggs when he's not the one getting the plates. Oh, Faker.
Yeah, Beryl making his way in. Faker gonna flash, and that was a good one because there are a lot of DK members down here. Carrier could be in trouble, though. Steadfast Presence comes down. She catches him with the stun, and there is nowhere for this Poppy to go. More plates going over to DK. It's like it's a Greek wedding.
And if there's anything that's going to get Dplus family ahead in this game, it is just picking up these gold advantages, getting all these plates. Although, I mean, it's not going to be plates, but T1 will be able to pick up this top tower with the power of the Ziggs. Oh,
we're getting a bit paranoid here towards the bottom side of the map as Ona does go in, then immediately goes out.
Yeah, ends up regretting that decision when he sees the Renekton there, and the redemption comes through to dissuade. The Ziggs just instantly explode the tower, but look at the difference. 500 gold is that difference in how much was achieved from the plates there.
Yeah, so much of it going over to Aiming. Like you were saying, it's almost just a 500 gold lead for the Corki in comparison to the Ziggs. Of course, Ziggs would have liked to be collecting those plates himself, but it just hasn't been how this early game has been played out here by T1. So we're going to check this one out one more time. Faker flashes away, but unfortunately, Keria is sort of left to his lonesome.
I think there was maybe the thought process that, hey, we can Realm Warp in, we can Nocturne ult in, we can maybe defend this tower 3v4. But I think the call was made, sorry, Keria, you're on your own, I'm gonna let you go. I think that was kind of the thought process of why he stayed in the tower, and they quickly just made the call that no, we're not gonna commit to that and lose more members. It's still very close in terms of gold, right? Yep. And T1 have the advantage in terms of First Dragon. No one has feats of strength yet fully. It's still even in that regard, so...
And we still need, like, what, 2 more objectives to be taken by either team? So Rift Herald is getting taken down very low. Beryl in position as he just gets evicted. All right, well, goodbye. Lucid comes over and steals it away, though. Never mind, there was a troll just waiting in there. It's like it's under a bridge. As we have a redemption coming down, Lucid gets all of his health bar back as the teleport comes in from Doran, and immediately he is blown up. And there is nothing that they can do about it. Highway robbery here by DK.
Lucid just able to get into the pit, I imagine from a blast cone, able to slide in, take the Herald, and then Doran as well caught out, him having an uncomfortable game, playing into the Cassiopeia, playing into the Trundle as well. Now Dplus going to be able to get a ton of value off the back of this Herald.
Yep, and takes down the outer turret in the mid lane. They're also taking the Dragon at the same time as T1 not quite finding it as Petrifying Gaze connects on to the Poppy, but Keria is going to survive. We get a bit of a zoom in here from Jonas Strong, but not any joy going to come of that. But Lucid is going to be taking this Drake, and so that will be feats of strength over to DK in what feels like the blink of an eye. We were just talking about the fact that, oh, we're really far away from feats of strength. Well, never mind. It's actually happening right now. It's also a Cloud Soul, which is fantastic.
Yep, blast going over the wall, and they just don't have vision of him. Just slides in, ends up being a miss smite from Ona there.
Yep, he also knew that Ona had 1200 smite there as well. Really interesting stuff. Lucid playing it out very, very nicely, and then they just set up. They see the teleport coming in, and unfortunately just an optimistic teleport angle there from Doran.
Yeah.
And T1 just weren't allowed to do that, right? Because it was 5 members of DK. So it's not like T1 can go in early because they were at a man disadvantage. They probably would have lost the fight anyway. So just a little bit of a misread there, unfortunately, for Doran.
Well, they set up a trap here. I think they may have found Shiwu.
Yeah, the Crocodile has certainly been sought out as the Heroic Charge does come in. Public Execution comes down as well. The Redemption this time from Beryl is going to work, but the Paranoia comes in. The Flash out, he manages to get the Sun as Ona overcommits for it, and now we get some knockups to come through Beryl, but the Realm Warp, and that gets them to safety, and Aiming is taking an inner turret in the mid lane.
This is what Ziggs is supposed to do, you know, just a tower killer, but Aiming has just been playing tower destruction duty this whole game, getting plates for days, getting towers for days, and now Doran in trouble.
Oh, another hook gonna connect. Beryl's, like, anchor is magnetized to Doran today.
Doran is not having a good time. 0, 4, and 2 on this Ambessa. He's just being bullied out since the early game. The only Fed member on the side of T1 is Ona, and he's just struggling to make any headway, diving in to get blown up. And another turret going over to the side of Dplus. That's the 4th of the game. And control heavily in their favor.
And we've been talking about pendulums and things going back and forth. This has been some massive swings in both directions over the last few minutes. But let's check this out one more time, as they did manage to get Shiwu, that's true, but the amount of time it took and the investment was just too large.
Yeah, the fact that Ona has to flash at the end to finish him because Shiwu flashed out of the ult.
Shiwu once again in trouble here. Doesn't have the Dominus and is going to have to try and get himself over this wall. Yeah, not going to happen. And Mega Inferno Bomb was going to be there to confirm the kill. Unfortunately, Gamushi was unable to get that because he was dead too fast.
Yeah, well, I will say T1 are trying to make use of these proactive sort of global tools. I mean, they didn't have to use them there, but trying to find these picks onto Shiwu. They have the Nocturne ultimate. If they can just keep finding picks, it is definitely a way back into this game for the deficit they have.
Certainly is. I'm just looking at the... Oh, Beryl. Not going to quite find the cannon there. But Showmaker is 4-0-0.
He's
on this
strong.
He's a very large snake. I don't know what are the ones, like anacondas get quite large.
Yeah.
A lot of pythons get
pretty
quite big. Yeah. Maybe he's one of those. This Cassiopeia is very, very scary. Ona is also pretty scary. And that is why the Crocodile got feared.
Yeah, the point-and-click CC, hard to deal with, especially if you're in a 1v2 situation. Now Dplus playing aggressively in the enemy jungle here.
Lucid has been not afraid.
Yes, very not afraid on this Trundle. And all in all, we have got some big spikes. So Aiming has the 2-item spike for Corki, which is pretty massive. Showmaker approaching that Rod of Ages being fully stacked. I mean, Fake is pretty on par in terms of items there, but Guma a decent amount behind. You know, going for that Seraph second, still a while away from that.
Faker does have the boots advantage, though. Had to do it. You know, you have to. Every time there's a Cassiopeia in the game, you have to do it. That's how it works.
Going for the Horizon focus second, so just sitting on the tier. I actually feel like the Seraph second with the Blackfire Torch is pretty okay. You get a lot of AP from it, with like the double mana item.
I really do like Blackfire Torch, so I'm already okay with it for that reason, as now Faker is looking to get himself out with the Realm Warp, and he does! Chomp not going to be enough.
Yeah, flashes away from the Pillar Knockup because that would have stopped him from being able to Realm Warp, so just survives that. But it's still a big win for Dplus, getting the Flash.
Flash and Realm Warp. Big deal. But the Otacon, I don't think they're going to attempt it without getting a little bit more than that. As Showmaker is going back home, we'll see whether that's 3 items done for the Cassiopeia. That would be a huge deal. Not quite there yet, but getting pretty close. Looks like Cosmic Drive going to be coming in pretty soon. It's going to have a massive amount of AP. As DK will be able to take their red buff. Lucid and Aiming going to have that. Aiming is just, he's been gold kinging.
He really has.
Like, I feel like he felt like his title was going to get taken away.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need all of the money, all of the time stat, I think is what he said.
It's kind of, it's fantastic when you're on a Corki, and a Corki is so strong, but it also has the sort of caveat that he really needs to play with a lot of responsibility. And we think back to that Smolder game, obviously Corki, you have the Valkyrie, you should be able to play and operate at a decent range. If you misplay and you get caught, it's so much gold lost for the team.
Oh, that flap. Oh, it was not. I didn't need reminding. Didn't need reminding.
I think Aiming needs to have that in mind and think,
yes,
don't do that.
He needs to be reminded of that.
Don't do that.
But no one else needs to be reminded of that. Second Dragon comes through here for DK. As Otacon has been started. Some vision is still here, though, for T1. They're teleporting in. And the Zig's already here. Doran going back first before he decides to teleport over. As DK just back away. They get the teleport. And they... Wait. DK just making a measured decision?
Yeah, this is a good play as well. I mean, they really would have loved to get Doran's TP. I think expending Guma's TP isn't that big of a deal in comparison to being the top laner's TP. But Dplus just pull away. They're like, cool, we got what we wanted out of the play. And it also pulls T1 heavily over to this side of the map. So it'll steal away some camps, push a wave in mid.
It does mean this full wave is crashing on this inner turret on the top side of the map, so that is money sort of going to the wayside. Thanks, Jonas Strong, for hopping on over there. And no cannon up there, so all of these minions are just going to go away.
Yeah, so some pros and cons, definitely, on this situation.
I think losing Otacon could have been a big deal, though. So understandable they are going to be playing for that one. And also, they managed to get the Drake at the same time, so... understandable trade-offs. You can see the gold didn't actually move towards T1 after said play.
I think as well the movement speed from Cloud Soul so massive in a game like this where you are worried about the range of the Ziggs and sort of get on top of him.
It's pretty good for aiming as well if they manage to get the Soul, because you get to activate a lot of movement speed all the time.
Yeah.
Your ultimate doesn't quite have a cooldown.
They're just going to start it again.
Okay. Let's see how it does work out. As Gumishi throws a big old book at the Otacon. But at the moment, it looks like it's just kind of helping. Redemption comes down. Showmaker comes in. He's a lot of DPS represented here for DK, but he's not hitting the Otacon right now. They're looking for a turn. Miasma comes in. Another hook comes down as Doran has to flash away. He's been subjugated as well. And they look for the Crocodile. He slices, dices, and gets himself out of there. As Shears still looking a little worse for wear, but not quite as bad as Beryl, who is basically out of this fight completely. T1 take control of the Otacon. Lucid trying to get over there as Beryl finds another hook onto Doran. The petrifying gaze as well onto Faker. They've taken 2 kills, but it is the Otacon secured by T1. Now can they get out of there? That's the big question. As DK, it's a bit of a sacrifice to give it away if they're not able to get a little bit more. As the pillar will come through pretty soon here from Lucid, and Ona is not getting out of this one. Aiming even able to come over and pick up the kill with the Gatling gun, and DK, that is a big lead now as far as money.
A lot of gold picked up from those 3 kills. Oh, we do have Baron spawning in 20, but the death timers, I mean, they got owner latest. That's the big takeaway.
Yeah.
They have so much DPS in the Baron. They could just probably do it on spawn.
And a lot of TPs have been used, right? So Faker is going to be respawning, Doran's going to be respawning, no teleports.
These TP spots from Doran have just not been working out. I think he needs to take a safer angle with these. We see it's a fight on two fronts. They are just going to do Baron spawn, and I think likely we'll see if actually T1 can contest it.
I mean, there is a Cloud Rift, as we're checking out this replay. In the meantime, battle on two fronts. DK decided that they're not going to be taking the Otacon, as this Baron will just go to DK. There is nothing T1 can do about it. Mega Inferno Bomb not stealing it this time, because Lucid does have Smite for this purple monster.
The amount of DPS on that neutral really making... Oh, Shiwu. It's not Flash.
Gonna get Realm Warp done, and will get interrupted there by the Steadfast Presence. Still there's a fair bit of health bar to get through, but the Satchel will hold him in place and takes down the Crocodile. A cheeky one back, and that will actually deter DK and put a little bit of a stopper in this Baron push.
Won't be able to get the tower mid, though. You could see Guma very low with no flash. Didn't want to hang around and potentially get punished for staying there too long. So it's a nice pick from T1, but it's a very small win on the back of some huge hits that Dplus applied to them.
Yep. Still, the Rebel Baron power play sitting at only 1,000 gold or something like that right now. So T1 have done a decent job at making sure they don't get too far ahead. Remember, you get about 1,500 just by taking the thing. And so being able to get that kill onto Shiu really helping them out there, as we're going to check it out in the replay.
Yeah, I love that we get a Steadfast Presence before the Realm Warp. So he's obviously going to dash immediately. It's already up to block it when he arrives.
He's also incentivized to wait for them to turn up before he presses the button, because otherwise he can't dice.
Yeah,
so it makes a whole lot of sense when it's Renekton for that one to work, as Owner is going to get a nice spell shield here, as Beryl is throwing out anchors all over the place, as Carrier very annoyed by that big old trophy in his way.
Yeah, a little spooky, but able to...
He's pretty used to trophies at this point, so he's not too worried about it, I don't think. Still, that one was very annoyingly placed.
I mean, aiming is just so strong now. Approaching that Infinity Edge, fourth item.
He's almost their gold lead.
Yeah.
Like, alone. As now Carrier is in a lot of trouble. That trophy is just pesky.
Not sure the angle he was really going for there. Just super overextended. Potentially looking for a flank and just gets instantly exploded. Doran doing pretty good into Shiu specifically, but he's got friends.
Yeah, he's got a lot of buddies, and the public execution is going to miss. There are so many things on the ground, and the turret just evaporates. Aiming looked at it, and it just exploded. Beryl going to make his way over, and I think that's the base that's going to get broken here on this push. That Rebel Baron power play that I was telling you was quite low is now obscenely large. 4,000 is the note of that one, and that means that they have a 7.5k gold lead.
T1 kind of just crumbling. You know, this could have been a Baron, you could have stalled out, right? You have the Ziggs, a great champion for mitigating the pressure, and...
Okay. Well, that is a bit of a...
Oh, they're running to look for it. They desperately want this mid tower to go down, but there's members of Dplus there to defend it, so not really going to be able to achieve too much. And now, Guma does have the satchel again.
Yeah, another trophy does go down here from Lucid.
But yeah, I think T1 just kind of dropping the ball a bit and giving Dplus way more than I think they otherwise could have gotten on the back of that Baron push. Now a 7,000 gold lead.
And Soul Point now to be picked up from for DK as well.
Aiming level 16, going to be able to recall and pick up Infinity Edge.
Oh, God.
He is just going to be doing so much damage.
That is kind of obscene. 4-item spike here for the Corki when he does manage to lock that one down. And Gumayushi does have 3 items complete, but none of them are really those items that make you go, oh, now I'm doing the damage. It's not a death cap or things like that.
Yeah.
Does have the Void Staff, so can get through some of the magic resist, but there's not a whole lot of that has been built up, and he really wants to be hitting squishies. As there's that IE that we were talking about. Aiming really has just been farming all game, and he is just so strong.
You have like the, I forgot the name of it, but is it the Verdant Barrier?
Yep.
Yep, you have that on Showmaker. You have the upgraded Merc Treads on Aiming. So it feels like it's going to be even harder for like Faker and Guma to get the damage off onto those members. Like, there's a lot of Merc Treads across the board. Yeah. Dplus. The only person who doesn't have Merc Treads is Showmaker.
And he can't build them.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
But a lot of them upgraded as well. And the AD damage, you know, Ona's not doing that much AD damage. I mean, he's quite fed, but it's hard to spread it as Nocturne, and Doran is 0-6.
Yeah, he's just eating anchors.
Yeah, oh.
As Paranoia comes down, we've got a Realm Warp to join him in here as they look for aiming, but he just gets himself out, and Beryl is going to vacate as well as Showmaker flashes for it. Lucid dives in on top, and the Nocturne and Ziggs immediately go down. Kerry gets caught out, and this game, ladies and gentlemen, is over. Faker is the last man standing. Teleports come in as DK, it's their turn for the jump scare. And now they will take down another in here. They're going to take down some Nexus turrets as well. And DK in a classic DK game 1 are going to be 1-0 in this series.
T1 try and find a way back in. They look for aiming, but this time he holds strong. 0 deaths in this game, 9-0-3, that early Corki pick coming up huge, and Dplus will go 1-0 up in this series.
Oh man, that was... I mean, I was going to say dominance, it was back and forth at the beginning, but as soon as that Otacon play happened, DK just took control and never let go, and it was controlled. Yep. Like, that's the thing that blows my mind. This is not a team known for cerebral play and measured play, but it was.
It was better map play, you know, and it felt like aiming was leaning into the Gold King style, and you know,
backs against the wall. I want to go back to what we were talking about prior to game 1. We were saying that T1 are a team that are very, very good at being there in the clutch. Well, they don't have too many extra lives as we jump into the rift here for game number 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. On to the rift for the second game of this series. It is a best of 5. No one's gone home just yet, but match point with 3 games to play would be a pretty huge advantage here for DK. And T1 have the opportunity to move this over to just a best of 3.
Yep. That's the thing, that with it being Fearless now, it's like a spicy best of 3.
True.
You know?
True.
The added element of those removed picks definitely makes it a lot more interesting when you come down to the point where it's 1-1.
Yep, but and also DK don't have that free Ziggs game that they've been relying on quite a bit over the last couple of series. So, not to be the case. Of course, you know, already picking up a win with the Ziggs game. Just wasn't their Ziggs. So, maybe we can include it. As aiming is just going to get a ward down, and then his ward goes down.
You know, we had a scenario where aiming obviously got a massive lead last game. I feel like Dplus allowing him just to hit plates constantly. Goodman not really given much of an opportunity to do the same in return. With T1 having, you know, 2 carries, and obviously Jarvan can do a good amount if he's ahead, but he's not like a carry in the way that a Sivir is. I really feel like Guma needs to be strong. And when you're sharing a lane with an Alistar, you're obviously going to be on the back foot early, but T1 need to set him up for success.
Yep.
Because if he ends up in a scenario where he's 2,000-3,000 gold behind again, if aiming starts doing the Goldkin things, this might just be a blowout.
It really could be. And I want to go back to what I believe it was Wadid talking about this a couple of series ago, and that's the fact that T1 doesn't really play around Gumushi all that much. And it has been to their detriment in a few of their games thus far. He's been sort of left out to dry in a fair bit of decision-making, but also even in sort of like the microclasm of a team fighters. We are going to see a good little headbutt back onto Beryl. Doesn't find all that much value with that tornado as the flash forward from Ona as well. Beryl holds the flash for a very long time and then stays alive as Ona almost not so lucky, down to 100 health as he backs away. But double summoners now removed from Beryl is going to be a big deal for pressure in the bottom lane for T1.
Yeah, I will say Beryl played that about as well as you can because they really wanted to get that final knockup, but because he gained so much distance on the back end, Ona couldn't follow him with the flash. Is on a 5-win streak, and do you want to know, all of those 5 games, we're actually in playoffs. It's 5-0 in playoffs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, on the counterpoint, Pantheon 0-5 in playoffs. So if you're wondering why we're seeing no Pantheon, a lot of Zins out at the moment, that's why.
Yep, we've had enough nerfs, as it turns out. Faker is going to be going back home, but as you can see in the farm numbers, just doing okay. We'll be teleporting back in with a tier in hand. We're building towards that Seraphs as Lucid will be taking down this Rift Scuttler. And now looking for a little bit of an invade. As Carrier, that was a Hex Flash, just playing around as he wants to hold on to this wave. Will be sent skyward as Beryl is just wailing on the cow.
Yeah.
The headbutt does come on through here, but Carrier looking a little worse for wear. As, I mean, he's holding the wave for a teleport, I guess, when that eventually comes in from Doran, because there is a lane swap in effect.
Yeah, it is just going to bounce back anyway, though, so hasn't really achieved too much.
Sometimes you just want to take a few Janna auto attacks.
Yeah. Well, either way, we get the swap coming through, so Guma avoiding the matchup that was a little bit tricky, with him being on the bot side into the ranged, double range matchup as ranged melee.
Yep.
Doran now, though, that's the thing, you know, typically Sion in the lane swap matchup, obviously very happy, but Rumble also pretty okay with it, but needs level 6, really.
Yep. He will be getting there relatively soon, as you can see. She already level 5, but in the very early stages of it, so needs maybe a wave or two before he will be at that level 6. That Ardent Blaze was very satisfying there from aiming, as they will be able to crash this wave in. As you mentioned, I mean, Doran should be fine. He's Sion. He's kind of built for lane swaps. It's kind of how it works. As we'll see whether Shiu can actually collect this this minion. It was almost the comment that was enough there, as Doran taking a bit of damage towards the bottom side. Thank you, Jonah Strong. As the cannon will be denied here on the bottom side of the map, I assume the same thing happened in the top lane, as Showmaker does get shoved back. Shredded Volley also doing a fair bit of work, as Lucid, speaking of work, getting to it here on this Dragon towards the bottom side. And already about a 400 gold lead has been accrued by DK just in the laning phase alone, largely to do with this Rumble and the Lucian that are having a pretty good time. Ona not going to be able to steal away this Dragon, and I don't think T1 needs to be too worried about it for now.
Yeah, but it's a big move from Dplus, bringing both bot laners up to ensure they get the Dragon. And it means Doran got to grab that entire huge wave under tower, so he's very comfortable now. Hit level 6.
Yeah, he's back in it.
And really just able to farm comfortably there. So Doran in a pretty chill spot right now. I mean, I say chill spot, he is under the tower right now.
Yeah.
And they are trying to make the wave push out away from him, putting him in an uncomfortable position going forwards.
And the Tornado is very annoying when it comes to interrupting backs.
Yeah, also just not really fun to play Sion into Janna, who can just, from a distance, stop you charging up your Decimating Smash. Very easy to do.
Yeah, it's been like, Janna was so incredibly strong at the very beginning of League of Legends.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the players of old know just how frustrating this champion is.
Yeah.
And Doran is remembering as we speak.
Yeah.
It was just so hard to kill. She just ran so far, well, floated so fast.
When she gave movement speed to everyone on the map,
Yeah.
Showmaker.
Yeah, that's the flash. Has to come out there. Good seismic shove placement from Faker to make sure that that one did come on through. And I think he was dead if Ona was able to get that knock up on him as well.
I think, honestly, he could have just ulted through the rocks and got stunned on the tower, and he could have been okay.
True.
But went for the flash instead. Didn't want to lose too much HP. Didn't want to get chunked out and potentially get bursted, maybe.
Yep. I also might have wanted to hold on to some of the combat power of having the ulti. I'm not.
Yeah, that's also valid. I think it's a little hindsighty, but I think that would have allowed him to save the longer cooldown.
Yep.
But we do have grubs in 42nd, and I think the ult, as you said, the combat power more important to have the ult for that.
As Beryl will actually tank the Q. So Doran is able to at least get some value there. As we see, because of those grubs coming up, aiming now moving towards the top side. Faker does get control of this mid lane. Will be shoving this one out, as Faker actually in pretty good standing at the moment in mid. As Lucid comes over, spotted on this ward. And Faker throws some rocks at him. Charm is going to connect though, as in goes Lucid, skirting the rocks as Faker has to flash to get himself out. Beryl was making his way over. But Janna ganks aren't necessarily the most impactful things. Still getting the flash, a big deal, especially with grubs just coming up now.
Yeah, the flash and the chunk on a Faker whose TP isn't quite available yet. Also, the Weaver's Wall not quite there too. So now Dplus, they can immediately grab a grub.
Yeah, they will be able to take one of them, but Carrier is going to be able to sweep out this pit. It looks like T1 have retaken position.
Yeah, the big thing was because Beryl was assisting with that mid play, he wasn't helping aiming in the top lane. Aiming's grabbing that wave, so they'll take the one grub. They won't stay around for more.
Shiu is underneath the turret here, as the equalizer
spot to be in.
Yeah. equalizer placement was a thing, as they're setting up for a potential dive here onto Faker. Wind becomes lightning, and Lucid gonna flash out of the way, gets a nice knock up, and Faker, remember, no flash, and will be taken down by the horde of minions that had been prepared earlier. The flash has to come out here from Shiu, though, as Doran makes his way down. Still, first blood going over to DK. A good start once again.
Yeah, double summons has to be committed by Dplus, but they managed to get the kill, they managed to get out, and T1 moving down to respond to try and get the exit kill. Just ends up committing a lot of time, a lot of members, to no real benefit for them. So nice pickup there, Lucid, good execution, dodging the seismic shove.
Yeah, it was nicely played. And man, the aggression from this guy, it reminds me of, you know, Challenger Lucid from back in the day. You know, the guy that would just make any play and make it work.
As president of the Lucid fan club, I obviously remember.
Yeah, no, of course.
Challenger's Lucid.
Yeah. Chronicler was, I mean, he was there, but he wasn't, was he truly there? You know?
Yeah,
I remember him telling me a lot about Dundun and the Nongshim players. So he knows, I know he knows a lot about them.
Yeah, he did this thing where he was kind of starting, he was just like, oh yeah, I'll start a fan club for every player. And then he waits for them, he waits to see which one shows up, and then he'll just be like, oh, I was always a fan.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really a fan of that sort of thing.
Well, you're a fan of Lucid.
Specifically, yes.
Yeah. We figured that one out.
Yeah.
As Faker will be clearing out this wave in mid. And we do have the game slowing down somewhat. 26 seconds, though, until the second dragon here. And it will be a Mountain Soul this game. T1 very, very good at getting Earth, Wind, and Fire dragons.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to this.
It's likely to happen.
Oh!
As Beryl flying around a little bit here, as Kerry is ghosting for him. Let's see whether Beryl's going to be able to make it, as the Monsoon is going to be waited for, and they pile on top and take out the Janna. Wow, that was immediate punishment as soon as the Monsoon came in.
Yeah, you saw Doran's ult was like a couple of seconds away when he got that decimating smash, and as soon as that max charge smash came in, Beryl was just not in a good position.
Oh, teleport actually going to be employed by Doran to get towards the top side of the map, though, so they're not going to be able to necessarily turn this into a dragon, especially with Showmaker holding on to mid control for now.
I think the thing is, even though they got that kill, they've been Sion ult, they've been Jarvan ult, they've been Sivir ult, and Janna gets back so quickly.
Yeah.
So I think they're like, cool, we got the kill, we're not going to overcommit for the fight, especially because you look at the inventory of the junglers. That is the one thing you look at and you say, we're not fighting.
Yeah.
If one jungler has Sundered Sky and the other doesn't, no, we're not interested. We don't.
It's the Sundered Sky rule.
Yeah, and honestly, you look across the board, mid laners, 80 carries, item completions heavily in favor of Dplus. And even though you can see, you know, Onus just finished his now, I'm sure Faker and Guma are quickly going to follow. That little window where Dplus had the advantage, I think T1 making the right call of just not flipping the game on a dragon. And it is going to be a Chemtech Soul, which T1 pretty happy. It's not going to be one of the strongest souls. I will say, though, that Janna going to get some nice extra healing and shielding value out of that.
That's true, but it's supposed to be a mountain. That was what was written down in the script, but I think I've been given a fake script now because I couldn't be trusted with the last one. Makes a fair bit of sense, as Carrier is going to get a dangerous back massage from aiming, and will be told to leave. A lot of vision here for DK was invested towards that bottom side to guarantee the double dragon, and now Shiu is going to get left out to dry. Equalizer doing a fair bit of damage, but that's a lot of CC, and he will just be taken down. Scrap Shield will allow him to at least get this wave, or the majority of it, as now a counter dive towards the bottom side as aiming is flashing away, had turret aggro, and did need to be a little bit worried about that one. There is the Unbreakable Will from Carrier, and that will keep him alive. And so no kills on the cross map here for DK.
Yeah, Carrier finding a great angle there to punish aiming, who was under the tower. So good gang for T1 on the top side. No major punishment here. We will get aiming, picking up some plates again, though.
Oh dear.
That is a little bit worrying. And it feels like if he starts to amass a big lead over Guma once more, that could be definitely the win con for Dplus.
Well, now it's up to 600 gold, as we can see, as the Tornadoes are just streaming their way over the top of these minions. In comes Sion. Hey, buddy. It's going to be a bit of damage onto Beryl as the Zephyr comes out, and Doran remembers that his life is probably not going to be very fun hanging out underneath this turret, but he's doing a decent job.
I mean, he's already very tanky, all things considered. You know, we've sometimes seen Sions fall behind a good amount and be like low econ. Oh, I'm saying that. He's getting bullied out a good amount now.
Exactly. Essence Reaver now done for aiming, so he's feeling a little bit better, but still it's only 50% of Doran's health bar. He should be able to get a fair bit of that back.
Okay, Lucid's coming down. If they force him off the tower, they could probably just pick this up on this wave with a cannon.
They're doing their very best to punish Doran this whole series. I mean, game 1 was another example of it. But in the last passage of play, DK have given up a fair bit of ground. You know, the gold lead has basically disappeared.
Yep.
So certainly some good moves here from T1 to stabilize in this mid game.
Again,
the plates do fall down.
They have those 2 dragons, but it's not the most meaningful soul. Oh, he has... sorry, Doran, he has flash.
Well, he might have to use it here, as Lucid will be able to find the knock-up. Orb of Deception comes down, and oh, he's just dead. And he knows it. Not going to be able to flash out of this one, and he will get some use out of the passive as he runs towards the turret and towards Showmaker by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think it was the right call just to save the summoner. I think as soon as you see the Ahri specifically, you're like, well, I'm not going to wait. You know, he didn't have ult. The flash is only going to be an extra ult charge from Showmaker. It does unfortunately mean that Showmaker doesn't even have to commit the ult, but the 5-minute cooldown obviously a lot longer. And now Showmaker going to be able to pick up this tower. Doesn't get the extra plates that were there just a moment ago. Yeah, but we'll get that first tower, and it's going to mean Dplus 1 objective or 1 kill away from Feats of Strength.
Very, very close. Feats of Warfare are available for both teams with 1 kill. See whether T1 can get one here as they're posturing in the mid lane. Teleport in from Doran to get him towards this bottom side of the map, as another time it is going to be a fairly aggressive one, looking to try and punish Showmaker. Not going to be able to do so. Okay, and of course, with Spirit Rush, he is going to be fine.
He doesn't have TP yet, but, oh.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall coming on down. Shiu does have Flash and uses it to get out of that seismic shove. Is now aiming once again, throwing the culling into the cow. As Gumiushi with On the Hunt already procced. Fair bit of damage onto Lucid here. As we've got the unstoppable onslaught interrupted there by Showmaker. And the charm is going to come down as well. That's going to take the Scion out of the fight as Redemption getting Lucid healthy once more. But Showmaker isn't quite that.
Yeah, his TP's up soon, so I think he's going to try and recall. Actually, he doesn't have time to. We'll just stay around on low HP. Okay, he's going for it now. They stole out the Herald. He's going to recall TP back in.
Or just walk back in unless they start it. So he doesn't even need to commit that just yet.
Okay, he is TP in. Yeah, they're trying to stall it out. He got chunked out pretty heavily. It is, though, aiming picks up Navori. And that's a huge spike for the Lucian.
He was sitting on a chunk of gold.
Yeah, it means you can basically just play If on Lucian and have no cooldown. So Dplus should be confident with that spike that they can really go for this. Set up for aiming, whose flash is nearly available. That's the only thing. His flash is down for a little bit longer.
Oh, Shiu in a little bit of trouble here. Seismic Shove is going to pick up the Rumble.
Do we have to recall Chiwu now and having TP back in, maybe? Well, you know, Showmaker did a second ago, and now it's Chiwu.
Yep, double teleports would then be invested to make this play happen, but instead it's looking like Soul Point on the cards here for DK, and not a lot of vision available for T1 in the area. It looks like they are opting in for a trade, but this will be Feats of Strength going over to DK, no matter whether they won the race or not, for the objective. So some upgraded shoes, as well as having that Soul Point, which is so important.
Yeah, I think it's telling that it's a Chemtech Soul. I think if this was a Hextech Soul, a Mountain Soul, I don't think T1 would be as willing just to give up the 3rd dragon in that situation. So the RNG of the Soulspawn doing a lot of favors for T1, but Dplus still one away from that. It's still a spike, still obviously going to help them out if they can secure it.
Yeah, Xin, Ahri, and the Janna all kind of like it, the Chemtech Drake, so we'll see. I think that it isn't necessarily the most pivotal dragon, as we all know.
Yeah.
But all dragons are good, I guess. As Doran going to be unstoppably onslaughting towards the bottom side of the map. Doesn't work as a verb, but it's always good to try. As the Howling Gale is going to sail by. Looked great, didn't do much. And T1 just trying to set up some defensive vision now towards this bottom side, or at least Doran is. And looking to try and catch some waves. So we have the Jarvan and the Scion with some slight advantages, but it's the bottom side of the map for DK that really are in good standing. And Showmaker, once again, having a pretty great performance here today. I liked the interruption of Doran making his way towards the potential Herald fight.
Yeah, normally a tankier member is the one you want to tank that, but you know, Showmaker will do it. We do now have Adakan spawning on the bottom side of the map with that soul in 3.5 minutes, and then Adakan a bit earlier, so the focus is very much going to be on the bot side. I feel like this game we've had a lot of trading between the teams, a lot of cross-mapping. We're going to get this sort of straight-on headbutting coming soon around that bot side. But now that we are getting the Herald coming mid, and all of T1 are kind of moving in. The wall's coming through.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice knock-up onto Carrier there as Doran off to the side. Teleport on the flank angle, though, as Shiu looking to make his way in. Doran not going to find any joy with that Q as another culling comes down. Carrier almost just out of the fight before it's even started. And in fact, that is the case. They don't invest anything either. It wasn't an early equalizer or anything like that to start that fight off. So just the culling employed, and they get them away from the outer.
Yep, the threat of the TP was enough to force them to back away. And that will save the tower. It's very low, though, as a result of the Herald charge, but it will just buy Dplus a little bit more time with that mid-tier 1 up and available. Showmaker just get a recall. He's gone the Blackfire Torch Cosmic Drive sort of build, so you just have permanent movement speed because the dots keep refreshing the movement speed. So a lot of haste and a lot of speed. Not the highest damage build available to the Ahri, but obviously able to skid around the fights quite effectively. Now Shiu Flash is almost up.
Yeah, just barely. Does use it right when it comes back off, but there is a Cataclysm down. Still going to be able to make his way out of there. And Owner respecting the damage of this Rumble, and Faker even teleporting in on top of it.
I feel like that's one of those situations where they had the Flash down timed and margin of literally seconds.
Yep. And even the Cataclysm still managed to catch him, but unfortunately, he managed to create enough distance to get himself out of the way, and now Showmaker in this side lane with teleport available, unanswerable. I mean, Doran is making his way up, but doesn't even have the ability to drive up there, and so he's going to be catching that one. The Otacon spawning now, and DK with a lot of tempo, a lot of control around this map right now, especially with the looming threat of the Dragon Soul they have a monopoly on right now. Feels like DK making some good choices so far this series. Just don't know what that means, and I don't want to infer anything because people will say caster curse stuff if I do.
They definitely will.
Not Chronicler, though. He won't. He doesn't believe in those.
Yeah.
That's all right. Culling. Once again, aiming is just... Yeah.
It's specifically Carrier.
Specifically Carrier, exactly.
And I feel like, to be fair, Carrier is slower and also bigger and tankier than a lot of his teammates, so it makes sense that it's Carrier. But not a fun time for
It does
him.
feel rude, regardless.
It does feel rude. It does feel personal.
Yeah. Not very nice.
How much of that damage dealt is specifically to Carrier?
Well, I want to see that number. I think that's the important number. Yeah. Maybe someone can go off and get that stat.
We should develop like grudge stats, you know? How much damage you dealt to person.
And then you could set up like revenge numbers to see whether they can get that damage back. And in Carrier's case, it's impossible because he's an Alistair, which is a bit of a shame. But if it was like 80 carry versus 80 carry, they could like... And top laner versus top laner, those stats would be really fun.
Yeah.
We should talk to...
I mean, top laners always do so much damage to each other. It's just like...
yeah, but like, who got the most grasp stacks against each other specifically? Like, those sort of stats.
True.
That would be very fun.
That's what we need to know.
That's the important information.
Just
we'll have a chat
stacks per minute, just always available on screen.
Yeah. Oh, man, that'd be so good. All right, well, DK without too much control of this area. Banana Brush trying to get picked up here by T1, but they are going to have their control ward removed, especially with Showmaker moving up from the south. And now it is soul time for DK. T1 looking to deny it if they can, but if they do manage to take this streak, it is just one Chemtech. Doesn't mean a massive amount as aiming, looking for Carrier here with that culling as the equalizer goes down. Redemption comes on in, the charm goes wide. Fair bit of damage coming on through, but no commitment here. As DK will back away. A fair few buttons now on cooldown on the hunt, as well as the equalizer being the big ones.
Culling down as well.
True.
Redemption used to heal up a little bit here. And the Rumble's, I mean, he's on a flank angle, but a bit distance from the rest of the team without the equalizer. That can be risky.
Yep, seismic shove as Shiu. Gonna move now towards Faker. Carrier, 50% health as Showmaker looking for an angle. That's a Mega Cone, remember, as the flash forward from Doran. Monsoon from Beryl here, trying to come on through us. In fact, it was the Crescent Guard as Lucid flashes his way out, but the Cataclysm will be able to take him down. Still the Charm connects, and the Jarvan falls down as well. Doran trying to be a monster in the front line, but Gumuchi is skirted on top of here by Showmaker. They take down the Scion, but they do not get the Soul. That is a big deal. It's still a big win, though, for DK.
Huge win in the fight. It ends up being Doran who secures the Dragon there to deny the Soul. But so much was burned onto Lucid, I feel, and Beryl able to keep him alive for a good amount longer. The Janet Peel coming in clutch. And we see where they open up. Doran attempts his play on aiming, the ult, but doesn't get the decimating smash in time, the flash dash to keep him alive. And then Lucid ults so much. They try and focus him. The barrel monsoons. Lucid flashes out. Yes, he dies, but so much was committed. Charm comes round to take Ona down in return.
Even the Howling Gale was massive in that fight as well, getting the double knock-up on both of the frontliners, allowing Showmaker to then get the angle onto Gumayusi to get him out of the fight.
Yeah, and the damage has just been shredded, and you see all three of the frontliners on T1 going down in return for just Lucid. And the momentum that's obviously given over when the Ahri starts to get those resets is massive. So we don't see Arakan going down as a result with no jungler available and some low health bars. Dplus don't overcommit to it. It's a 2,000 gold lead, so an advantage still in favor of them, but not securing the soul. Definitely big for T1 to deny that one.
I'll teleport in from Showmaker here, gets him back over towards this Arakan. Still having that one on their minds for the moment, but was also able to take that top outer turret.
It is a Black Cleaver for aiming. We have seen this build, so not as much.
Carrier finding a pulverize, but it's only on to Beryl for now. Crescent Guard out here as well from Lucid, who finds himself in a very awkward spot. Cataclysm, as it's a possible overextension here for Ona, but he finds a phenomenal flag and drag on top of Beryl, and then the pulverize comes on in, but still, the damage is massive. It's just not enough as T1! They manage the aggro perfectly and wipe out 4 members of DK.
What a team fight from T1. The low health bar so close to going down, but just enough to survive. Showmaker doesn't get the resets, isn't able to translate. Beryl goes down, aiming to follow. And we see it ends up starting off, and it's a little bit haphazard. They get the engage initially on the Beryl. The Monsoons burn early, and then this re-engage comes out from Ona. He gets bounced up, but goes back in. Look at his health.
Yeah.
Re-engages, sets up for Doran, sets up for Carrier. Guma gets focused here, but flashes out. The stun comes in a Showmaker, and it's just T1 team fighting at its best.
This was, it looked suicidal.
It was,
Ona.
He died.
Yeah, well, but like, look at how much he achieved.
It was so good. It was so well played.
My God, he is just, actually, he's something else.
He didn't even die.
No, he didn't.
I thought he did. I just assumed when he was on that low,
he should have.
He should have died.
You're exactly right. But
wow, he didn't even die. He didn't even die. That's even more insane. I honestly thought, I watched that and I watched the replay and I thought he died after watching it 2 times. That's crazy.
But as it turns out, he did die, but it was a different time of the game.
He didn't die because he sundered the sky. There you go.
Oh, that's poetry. That's beautiful. Put that in your palm comment or something like that later on. As DK now looking to try and defend as the Arakan's still up and available. Pulverize coming on through here as Lucid finds himself cornered off, but Showmaker has a good angle. The equalizer's down in a great position, is now aiming, working like a typewriter as he looks to soften up T1. The health bars are getting low, but they do make their way out. We'll just see whether this is actually going to be enough for DK to lock down this Arakan, because that looks like the prize that they're looking for, but you can see not actually going to commit for it. And T1 are going to start it off themselves now as teleport to come in. DK still in the area, but they have no vision of this.
Yeah, Dplus feel hesitant because they've lost Showmaker's ultimate. Now they have to approach. They don't have control of the area against Talia Sion.
Oh, Faker goes golden, seeing that charm coming over the wall as now aiming gets flashed into. Headbutt pulverize, and there's everything, but he still managed to flash away. The Monsoon's down as well as Faker was taken out. Lucid gets into the backline, but Gumayusi, oh no! He's taken down, and now aiming is frontlining into Doran, and that is exactly what he was looking for. DK strike back and find themselves a great team fight.
And it's Beryl flashing in to help take down Gumayusi, the DPS Janna, to finish it off. It looked like T1 maybe found the angle onto aiming, but the peel for the Janna coming in clutch to keep him alive, and Dplus answer back. They'll be able to cash in on the Arakan, and it's 15 seconds on that Dragon.
Yeah, they are going to look for a back first, I think, because their health bars are very, very low. But let's have a look at this one once again.
Yeah, so Faker has to stasis because the charm came in, and then the flash ult from Doran. Aiming looks like he's going to die, but the Monsoon, the flash comes in. Lucid finds Faker, looks for Guma, and then look, Beryl at the end actually flashes the W to kill Guma.
That's my goat right there.
I knew you'd love that one.
Absolutely insane. As Ona now with positional control. And the best thing about this is, yeah, DK, they managed to get Otacon. They've still got Soul Point, things like this. The Rebel Baron power play, not massive, but T1 still managed to get that Baron, and so the gold is still in their favor. This game is anyone's. It's a Chemtech Soul as well, and so I don't think either team is too worried. There are a lot of petals in advantage for DK, so the Otacon does feel fantastic. This is still anyone's game as Showmaker has to use the ulti to get out of the way of Faker, but my god, the damage from this Ahri.
But the Hunting Fruit going to heal him back up, and that's Ahri ult down. It is a low cooldown at this point with the amount of haste he has, and with the fact that he's level 16, but the Dragon's getting shredded down quickly.
Yeah, we'll see who's going to be able to get this smite, as it's another one that T1 desperately want to be able to find for themselves. The Howling Gale not quite finding the avenue in as Lucid is in position. Faker looking for the wall angle, and he will be able to get that one down. Wind becomes lightning, but there's the headbutt to get the jungler out of there. Keria might sacrifice himself, though, as the seismic shove, and down goes Lucid. Now Doran trying to get it done as Ona finds aiming, but the Relentless Pursuit's going to get him out of there. It's a good charm as well, but Ona just flashes on top of him, and Showmaker has to flash away. It's a triple for Gumayusi, and T1 this time find the team fight.
Almost 8,000 damage from Guma, the Ricochet shredding Dplus there. The Anakin buff not doing enough, and now T1 will look to do a lot of damage to the base. Can they end here is the question.
I mean, that would be ridiculous, surely. It's 30 minutes, though.
They're going to do a lot of damage to the base at minimum. Showmaker, I think, should be enough to dissuade them from ending, but a lot of damage is going to be done.
It should at least be an inhibitor, and they might even be able to get an avenue towards this top lane one as well. And if anything, it's going to be a gigantic swinging gold. About 4,000 is what they were able to put together here to extend that lead. And Ona comes alongside Doran to be able to take down this inner turret as well. So that is going to make it a 5,000 gold lead, and DK are well and truly on the back foot now.
Yeah, so we see how the fight plays out, and ultimately Lucid doesn't get his ult off because he tries to make it in, gets knocked up, the chain CC ends up coming through from the seismic shove, no ult, dies so quickly. Beryl without flash just gets chased down, and Guma, the ricochets are coming through, ends up doing so much the bounces. And I honestly didn't feel like he actually got that many autos off for how much damage he did, because that's how strong this Sivir is right now. Just
more items.
A few autos on the right targets and the right positioning, and Guma massacred Dplus. It's a squishy composition from Dplus. There's not that much armor between them.
Yep.
And he just melted them.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so DK now finding themselves 4.5k gold behind. Still with Soul Point, but it's starting to mean less and less as T1, if they can get another one, we could be talking about quad Chemtech Soul, which is a lot of Chemtech Soul, is my
that would make the
prediction.
Sky go crazy.
It would.
It also makes the Unending Despair and the Scion Shield go crazy.
And the more of Malmortius Lifeline go crazy. Outside of that, not a whole lot more. I guess Lifesteal on the Sivir.
It doesn't actually work on Lifesteal.
Oh, okay, never mind. Triumphant Roar.
Yep, works on that. Works on the shield.
There you
Redemption.
Oh, the Redemption obviously is the biggest deal. As now Lucid might find himself in an awkward position once again. This time has the whole crew with him, but the seismic shove comes down yet again. This time he got the ult off, but it doesn't actually matter. As now Aiming finds himself in amongst two frontliners. Showmaker looking to make his way in, and Aiming is just dead. Out of position entirely. Keria finds the headbutt back, and you thought you were chasing the cow. He was just getting you in position to be butchered yourself. And T1, I don't think they're losing another fight in this game.
Yep, they've got control of this one now. T1 6,000 gold ahead, gonna pick up another Baron here. And Guma just melting everyone in Dplus he sees. I think Dplus really lost control of this game. It doesn't look like they're gonna be able to close out and get Soul on this one. The Janna, I think there was a lot of positives earlier in the game, but it hasn't just really come together, and it feels like this team fight structure from T1 going such a long way. The front line, hard to break through. And even though this time Lucid gets his ult off, he kind of just gets shredded. Guma just stands inside the ultimate and just melts him.
Yeah, and then Aiming finds himself in a very uncomfortable position. The fact that Ona can just flag and drag over that wall meant that there was nothing he could really do. And even though Keria goes down, it is well and truly worth it with 3 lying on the floor. So that does guarantee the Baron. And now with Baron number 2, T1 should be able to take yet another inhibitor if they would like to, but also guarantee position around this dragon to even up the Soul points. And I just don't think that Soul is going to be something worth talking about in this game. especially after talking about it so much for the majority. Just hasn't seemed to matter.
Yep, IE does finally come in for aiming, but just feels a little bit too little too late. We'll try and defend the base here, but the wall's going to come in and apply a lot of pressure. Yep,
this is the sieging potential of a Taliyah composition. So incredibly powerful as they will be able to wipe out the turret. Still an opportunity for a team fight perhaps here for DK, but it's just not feeling very good. And they're going to have to really get their ducks in a row. It's going to have to be one of those miracle fights if they are going to make that one happen. As another culling comes through, of course, Carrier, his favorite target, but aiming not really able to do too much of anything at all, as now Doran just making his way over. Kamishi with a nice spell shield there, avoids getting knocked up. Could have been a dangerous one, as now in goes Lucid, finds the angle as Doran's going to get pushed back. That's kind of where he wants to be. How about Pulverize? And they take down both of the solo laners in an instant. Shiu does go golden though, as aiming picks up a double, but then he's lying on the floor. And Lucid, the last man standing, it's a quadra kill for the Jarvan as they're looking to set it up, and there's the Penta for Owner. If there's ever anyone who is deserving in this game, it is Owner. He has been so good and gets to celebrate with a jungle pentakill at the end.
A crazy performance from Owner, delivering the bounce house onto Dplus. This J4 performance, an absolute masterclass. And T1 answer back 1-1 in the series.
Oh man, and
which obviously wouldn't be ideal in this one.
We'll just have to see how it does go. Some interesting drafts on both sides as we get onto the Rift here for game number 3. Man, the fan chants have been so incredibly impressive here in LoL Park today as we are on the Rift for the 3rd game. Winner of this one will get match point. That's what's going to happen as we are tied up 1-1. And DK, a lot of wombo, T1, a lot of wombo. I love it. I feel like there's going to be a lot of team fighting in this game, or it's just going to be an absolute stomp. It just, like you said, feast or famine. And it means that we might, it will need to be a tightrope walked by both teams if it's going to be close, is what it kind of feels like to me.
That's the thing, I see feast or famine, but I could also just see it being an absolute slugfest going back and forth because, you know, it could just come down to execution. But I think if one team gets ahead, it's going to be really hard to find your way back in unless the other team really makes a blunder. Item Spike is going to be pretty vital in this one.
And it is going to be the Electrocute on Shiu as well, going for those short trades into the cannon. Trying not to get bullied out. We've seen this a fair bit from Aatrox's into ranged matchups.
As far as melee champs into ranged champions, Aatrox does better than most. You know, if piloted well, we've seen him played into things like Gnar. We've seen him, if you can connect on your skill shots on the sweet spots, it can actually do okay and have a good amount of threat. But it obviously is a lot about how well you play that Aatrox and how well your opponent plays the Kennen. And Kennen's obviously an annoying range champion to play into, specifically because you have that ability to stun and that movement speed boost on your E, so it is awkward for the Aatrox to find an advantage. I feel like the cannon does have to mess up to a degree to allow you to get a good, favorable trade.
We'll see how Doran is going to play it out. I think had a few whoopsies in the first couple of games, but ultimately did well in the later stages. His tank play fantastic on the Scion in the late game, and often just is, right? This guy is known for being a team fighter. As T1 don't have too much control here in this bottom lane, but everything is pretty even. And Xayah Kai'Sa, man, it dates back to 2017. As we know, this is a tale as old as time. As coming down to the bottom side is Owner, and is going to be unseen as he walks his way in. This is dangerous, as aiming, going to have to flash to get himself out of the way, as the feathers not going to be enough to take him down, but still, he is going to have to go home. No flash in hand anymore.
Yep, so aiming, able to get out of that one without dying, but it's such a heavy blow to lose that summoner, to get chunked out of lane, especially as the wave is going to crash into tower in a second. So it's just a nice investment from Owner. It doesn't cost very much.
Wait a second, he's doing like the Pantheon last season move, you know, where you just gank, that's all you do. Very Raptor-esque. I like it a lot, but did need to make his way towards his top side anyway, and so just going to be annoying. Takes a bunch of health here from Showmaker. Doesn't get a flash, but is going to allow that lane to feel a whole lot better, as already Xiu is here towards the bottom side, as DK wanting to get him out of his difficult matchup. I feel like a lot of the times lane swaps are done because the bottom lane is feeling a certain way. This is not that.
Yeah.
This is the top lane.
Yeah, not having a fun time. But yeah, I think this is, if you want to have success in the Pantheon, the early pressure from level 3 onwards, so much burst potential. The CC have just been able to walk up and stun. Pantheon has, I think he's tied for highest base movement speed in the game, or at least very high up there. So you can just walk in and stun, and it is so effective. Yep. Has fallen a bit behind in terms of farm compared to Lucid, but has put pressure down on both mid and bot for his laners. You can obviously see aiming on the scoreboard is a little bit ahead in farm, but there's a big wave going to shove in.
Oh, man, Doran did not want to do that, as the Infernal Chains are going to ruin his day.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you misplay in the matchup, you can be very swiftly punished. And this is a Doran Shield Ruby Crystal Aatrox. And that's what he can do with a full combo. So it just kind of shows the threat level that this champion has if you eat those sweet spots, if you eat a full combo, and why, especially when you get some items behind him, you really have to be respectful.
Oh, Showmaker pretty far up in this lane, and does have flash, is going to use it, still does get stunned momentarily, as Ona just going to push him away, so just stealing flashes from everyone.
Yeah, just getting so much value here, and just, again, he is a little bit behind compared to Lucid, but the pressure he's achieving for his lanes in return definitely feels worth it. And Wukong just can't do this. You know, Wukong is incredibly strong.
Oh god. Xiu looking for an angle here once again, flashed for it. But now Beryl is looking for a bit of an angle, and Faker is in trouble. Lucid turns up as well, and this will be first blood being delivered to the Monkey King.
I say Wukong can't do this. That wasn't Wukong, that was Nico.
Yeah,
you know, a little bit of tricky behavior there. Great gank from
Nico
Beryl.
was dressed as Wukong.
Yes, that was why it was a little
technically
confusing.
Wukong did it twice.
But a great gank there from Beryl, and actually the first kill of the game comes down to him, and it's rewarded to Lucid. So a bit of an advantage given over to that Wukong, and as I was saying is that Wukong doesn't have as much power in those early ganks, but if you get a lead on this pick, it's just so impactful. Beryl coming down, and the thing is, you come out of stealth as a Wukong.
Yeah,
you still don't know if it's Wukong. You don't expect to be rooted by a Wukong. Why would you? Just a great play there from Beryl. And Faker doesn't end up flashing, even gets stunned by the gravity field.
Yeah, wasn't actually able to get out of that. Yeah, and I believe needed to get closer to the wall, otherwise he would have just flashed into the wall or had to flash in an awkward spot, right?
Yeah,
so
I think honestly,
there wasn't really an angle for it.
Probably better just to save the flash, because I think you would have just died anyway. And then you would have been really vulnerable, especially after 6 without flash. But obviously does not feel ideal. Does get stunned up by the gravity field as well and takes a bit of a hit on that trade.
Well, you can see now Xiu moving on over, does spot out Ona.
Just looks at him and forces a smite.
Yeah, that's a bit cute. But is still going to be able to get the crab. So the Pantheon feeling all right here and has actually caught up as far as the farm number is concerned. So Rishi taking a bit of damage here, but aiming as well, looking worse for wear, as Lucid finding himself on the bad end of that trade, as Ona is putting the pressure down once again. Feels like that pentakill may have made him feel a little bit confident here in this matchup. I mean, you just don't want to tango with the Pantheon as the Wukong early on. Flash in from Doran, looking for the angle. Owner is here as Xiu tries to make the world end, but it's his world that is going down. And T1 are going to even the scoreline.
Such an easy play there. Such a good setup from Doran, flashing in to commit the play, or Owner's there to follow. Remember, Xiu flashed on the bot side to try and find a kill on Doran and will pay for it with his life. So an answer back in terms of kills. And Ona, just the amount of ganks he's actually pulled off. We're 7.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
And how many is it? Like 4 now so far in total?
Yep. It was 2 mid, 1 bot, and 1 top.
Yeah. And this is obviously the first one getting a kill, but I feel like everyone has got at least some value so far. And that one was just needs one to pick up the execute damage on the Pantheon. Very severe. And I feel like, we've seen Pantheon struggle. We've seen earlier in the season it be extremely strong. But if you want it to work compared to like such a strong team fighter like Wukong, this is the sort of thing you want to be doing.
Yep.
Getting all that early momentum, getting all that constant pressure.
All right, we've just got a killer instinct as aiming goes in. Level 5 for Gumushi, so we can't use the Feather Storm. Still, Oner is going to turn up. It will be Guma going down, and Oner not going to be able to do this one by himself. And so DK finding one back themselves.
This couldn't have gone better for Dplus, because not only do you manage to catch Guma without his level 6 available, you get both his sums, and you get the ult coming in from Oner, so you just burn so much from T1. You commit their jungler to the top side of the map, and his ultimate gets burned, and your play is still successful. Guma a decent amount behind in terms of XP.
And it's also going to be some grubs going on over to DK here at the same time. So first objective will be taken from the map as Beryl gets himself over the wall because, of course, it was about to get sandwiched by a Lulu and a Pantheon. And all of the grubs will be here picked up by DK. T1 in position. Shape Splitter not going to be the option here as Oner walking so quickly as Lucid will get himself out of there and Beryl will not. He is extraordinarily dead.
Yeah.
So Beryl for grubs.
Beryl a little bit overextended when he had to burn that initial flash and then hung around a bit too long in the offset. So T1 end up just taking him out. So a nice pickup for T1 considering how the situation started, but still favorable for Dplus. And just the fact that the Wukong's able to make the way in here, the Void Seeker connecting from aiming. So much burn by Guma. Trying to get the root with the flash there. Doesn't unfortunately manage to connect it. And you can tell T1 wanted to make more of it here though. Beryl cut off by Kerry. It was a good flash.
Yeah.
But then moves in very aggressively to kind of zone them away. Carrier gets the E onto Beryl and then lands that slow. And even with the heal and the Nimbus Cloak, the movement speed from Kerry again sets up Oner just to charge in and take a Beryl. I was talking about in draft, the Rel Pantheon being really strong. You speed up the Pantheon, runs and stuns. Lulu Pantheon doing the same thing.
Yep, works just the same. And as the game goes on, there are a lot of great wild growth targets as well to use offensively in a lot of these fights, and keeping Gumushi alive is going to be also a big task for the Lulu as well. I think that T1's composition does definitely teamfight very well, but you look over the other side, same thing can be said, and I think it all comes down to execution as we're going to have a look at Lucid versus Oner here. Both of them sitting at 2-0, but a whole bunch more damage done from Oner, who's been turning up at every single lane. But the gold is going to be an advantage of this Wukong, and as the game goes on, I believe we will see a bunch more monkey value.
I will say, the first item spike, you know, the Sundered Sky comes in for Oner, you're going to feel fantastic. But when you get like second item for Lucid, that's when he gets his Sundered Sky. That's when he really feels fantastic in those team fights. It still feels like the Pantheon is definitely one of those picks where old Pantheon, you really thought of how he fell off a cliff, but I feel like he holds so much better now. Especially they gave him so much armor penetration just for points in his ultimate, so his damage really feels significant even later in the game. But definitely not comparable to just the Wukong's team fighting power is kind of obscene, as we have seen in many games this year.
Indeed. This pick has been very, very strong. But there is the Sundered Sky, the item that like the entire post-match thread was just talking about how broken this item is.
Oh man, it's so crazy.
It is very silly. As now Doran is in a lot of trouble. Does have Slicing Maelstrom, but there is the Cyclone to come down. Lucid will die as Doran even lives. Aiming comes in and finishes him off, but now Shiu is the one in trouble. Pop Blossom here, and it's not going to be enough to save anything. And in fact, I think Beryl is just going to die, and Kerry is going to come on over and make sure that that happens. That was not the dive that DK was looking for.
Huge turnaround play for T1. The Pantheon coming in clutch there with the ult to find favor in the play. And you know, we just said he just picked up Sundered Sky. I don't think he really needed it to make that play work. But Doran getting massive value out of the Slicing Maelstrom to stay alive for just long enough.
And diving a cannon is always a difficult task, and we're going to have a look at this one once again.
Yeah, she was a little bit low already. The ult stunned all three.
Yeah.
And then Lucid has to commit heavily with the ult. Aiming has to ult in to find it. She was low enough that it's just easy for Oner to finish off. And then we even see Beryl goes in to try and just save his AD carry to get out, and that just means he's dead too. It's a massive play for T1. Oner getting a ton of value, and considering he was already in a great spot prior to this play, he's now 4-0 on the back of this, and yeah, he is thriving.
Yeah, and he's also the one with all the mojo. So this is definitely pretty devastating, as Beryl will be able to find the snare onto Doran. But you can see Doran actually wanting to go in there, does have his dash cannon now completed. And aiming, still looking for some more plates. And the gold lead is not exactly end of the world levels or anything like that, but it's the tempo vibes that we're really feeling stacking up for T1. That is a bit of a worry here for DK. Some of those old mistakes coming back, overextensions, trying to get more, impatience is kind of the feeling that we're getting. We'll see whether they can pull it back just a little bit here and retake some control.
Yeah, I think they're taking that play slower, try to bait out the ult and just disengage. It could have been okay. You got a lot of tools from T1 for nothing, but they just heavy committed for the kill, and it really sort of bit them in the backside.
Did indeed.
Been a very slow game when it comes to dragons. 13 minutes in and no dragon taken yet.
It's an 8-minute-old dragon. That's it's very old.
Pretty lengthy. Not the longest we've seen, not by a long way.
Yeah, what was that? The dragon lasted like 20 minutes or something like that?
Definitely, yeah. You saw something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was like this year. It's very.
But we do see, you know, I mentioned it. I spoke it into existence. The pings are coming through. T1 heard me.
Ah, there we go.
Said, oh yeah, dragon exists.
So it will be a 9-minute-old dragon that will be taken down here by T1 as DK looking for a bit of an angle towards this turret, but Doran says no, and a massive Pop Blossom to come through, but it's only onto the cannon, and Carrier comes on over. Beryl is going to be dead yet again. That's 0-3 for this Nico, and another kill going over to the cannon. They might be able to get aiming as well, and there it is, and in comes Ona once again. She is going to get taken down. Now Lucid's by himself, and DK are just falling apart unless it is, no it's not, and Ona is going to pick up a double. That's a 6-0 Pantheon. I thought he was supposed to be 0-6.
I think that Pantheon loss streak's going to end looking pretty good for Owner on this one. 6-0, so much impact made. And here we see Doran going in with the Rocket Belt, finds a stun. And even though he doesn't initially have the burst to blow them up, so much damage is done. And with the wild growth as well, and the health from the Rocket Belt, he's just too tanky for them to cut through. Aiming's running away, but he just gets chased down. The flash slow from Carrier.
Yeah.
So here's it, 2 kills for this cannon. And on the bot side, Pantheon flies in and is just so strong.
Immediate shockwave as well on top of the Pantheon. He also gets the orb for the extra tankiness. And it's just beautifully played. And T1 now 9-3 is the kill score.
Okay,
that snowball that you were talking about at the beginning of the game, that is starting to roll down the hill for T1.
Ona just based as this graphic came up. He had a Phage, just picked up a Black Cleaver. He is
that's a big boy.
He is strong. He is very, I mean, Lucid does have a long sword, right?
True.
Yeah.
That's not a Black Cleaver's better than that.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I was saying this game, if one team gets sizably ahead, it's going to feel really bad. I feel like we're heading in that direction. Also, the fact that both the solo laners are kind of bulky, right? We have a lot of health in the Rocket Belt, a lot of health on the Rod of Ages. If you're not exploding Doran or Faker, you're going to feel bad, and Guma has the Featherstorm. So if this engage from Dplus doesn't work, your team comp kind of falls apart.
Well, Showmaker looking for a bit of an angle here. Gravity Field is down in a decent position as Doran going to get flashed on here. Shiu finds his way over, and there is the shutdown. It's Showmaker that actually collects the kill. T1 still in position, though. A lot of resources were used to take down the cannon. Shockwave connects onto a couple as now Beryl trying to keep himself alive. Lucid takes down the Rift Herald. They collect the Iron. T1, they're just looking to get out of there. Man disadvantage coming on in, but still Faker doing so much work on this Orianna. There's a reason why it gets denied from T1 so often. And still, DK actually making a good play against the tempo.
Yeah, I think a good job from them. Splitting apart Doran from the rest of the team. Beryl finds a nice pick. They managed to get the Herald on the back of that, and they don't go for more. I think they obviously had some tools left. They still had the Arcane Storm. They still had the Cyclone, the Killer Instinct. They could have definitely made a play happen. But I think they go, look, we're still very far behind. That Pantheon's still very scary. And we see it happen here. Doran gets split from the team, and immediately, with Shiu on the flank, they commit. T1 aren't in position to respond quick enough. It's a quick kill. I'm like, cool, we now get the Herald. T1 aren't really in a position to do anything. And even though they get a shockwave that does a lot, the gravity field kind of slows down Ona from really doing anything. And Dplus are like, okay, great.
Yeah.
We don't need to do any more. They were kind of fishing a little bit, but they don't over... Oh, no.
Well, Shiu is likely to die. Unfortunately, his Sundered Sky's not quite enough.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it certainly is. That is going to be first turret going over to T1 as well. And the onslaught continues here as that gold lead heading back towards that 4,000 mark that it was looking towards last time around. Lucid gets himself over the wall as Doran does try to find a bit of extra damage on
Doran
Lucid.
was aiming for him.
He was aiming for him, and
Yeah.
aiming was there as well, so it was a bit confusing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Still, Showmaker has not really done all that much so far this game, but we saw in that last Herald fight, he does do a lot of damage. He's actually there, and also the gravity field, if used well, can really warp these fights.
He has farmed up a good amount, so he is going to be strong. And obviously, Victor can have a lot of impact in these team fights if he can survive. A lot of burst threat on the enemy team, and this Pantheon is threatening. Here, Shiwa just sticks around too long, realizes his error a little bit too late. I think you just have to let the tower go.
Yeah.
At least you got Pantheon Flash.
True. But he didn't manage to keep his turret alive. And that is more money over to Doran as well, who is about 2,000 gold in the lead. Similar story there for Ona on this Pantheon. 7-0 now.
T1 are just picking up more and more. They're going to get this bot tower as well.
And at this point, DK are just getting pulled around the map. Gumayushi might be in trouble. This time he has Featherstorm, though, and a whole bunch of friends. And T1 are going to flash towards them. There's Faker picking up the two-man Shockwave. Now Lucid's in trouble. Cyclone has to be used very defensively, but I just don't think it's defensive enough. And in goes Ona to lock down the kill. That is a legendary Pantheon. And DK circling the drain already here pre-20 minutes.
Featherstorm, Flash, Barrier, Wild Growth. None of them even used. I think that shows the confidence T1 have right now. The Wukong starts to walk towards you. Guma's just completely unfazed, starts walking towards you, and you go, oh no, we're in trouble. And Dplus, oh man.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I don't think Shiu is going to be surviving this one, as Ona does leap on top of him. Umbral dash to get him over that wall, and
okay, he can
actually,
no, I think
he's going to flap his way.
Oh, the TP.
Can he actually get himself out? And yeah, the teleport will be able to get him out of there.
You know
so
what?
That is a little bit of good.
You take the small victories.
Indeed.
In this situation, because there aren't many for Dplus right now.
Yeah. He didn't die, did have to use TP, and that is not so good. And the Shadow Flame just got completed there for Doran.
Yeah, so this is the play where you expect, okay, he's going to have to ult here, and he just goes, no, actually, you guys are the ones in trouble. A Shockwave connecting on a both.
Basically a three-man, because it got the flash from aiming as well.
Yeah, Beryl immediately just gets deleted. Lucid's trying to kite away, and his Pantheon's just walking at him, menacingly.
Yeah, and you can understand why. He is a very, very large Pantheon. That longsword's still there for Lucid, though. We're still waiting for that to turn into a Sundered Sky.
Oh, he has the Tunneler now, at least.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a pretty good item in this game if you just want to tunnel underground and hide.
Yes.
Which feels like...
He just wants to pause the game and be Rek'Sai. That would be even better. As aiming does have 2 items now completed, as the Rage Blade is finally done, but he is pretty far behind himself.
I think as well, in a game like this, you really need to be burning summoners from the critical members. So like, the fact they didn't get anything from Guma,
yeah,
there's nothing to play around. There's no, okay, well, we lost that fight, but we got the 80 carries flash. The next fight, we got, no, his flash is still up. Everything is still up, so, you know, this fight, they're starting up Arakan right now. They're calling you to contest. They have all their tools available. The only thing they don't have is a flash on Faker, so maybe Faker needs to be the target. We'll see if they can pull that off. They do throw the Herald down mid, though, as T1 move up towards Arakan, so they at least find a window to throw that down. Yep. In the mid-tier 1, obviously opens up some better angles to approach from when they are looking for those flanks.
And still, it is not going to be a commitment onto the Arakan either, so that is certainly good news. Doran does upgrade some shoes, though, so he's got 2 items and is feeling absolutely fantastic on this Kennen. Kennen, with a tempo advantage in a game, is so deadly.
Yeah.
And Ona is going to start off this dragon, and I just don't think that there is going to be any contest. Hopefully it's Cloud Soul, so we finally do get our Earth, Wind, and Fire reference that I've been looking for.
I think that's a one positive for Dplus, is that the first dragon was very late.
True.
So a potential soul is very late in this game, and it's going to be...
There it is.
There you go.
I knew there was going to be one this game.
It's pretty high-value Cloud game. You know, the movement speed goes a long way. Yep. Kennen gets a ton of value when he pops the ultimate, even Zyre as well. But it's a long time before T1 get the soul, even if they stack up the next 2 dragons. So I think Dplus have more time on their hands, but I think things are going to be tricky soon because Arakan's up and available, Baron's in 2.5 minutes, and you look at the items for Doran and Faker, I imagine they're probably just both going to buy a Seeker's Arm Guard next, and as soon as they have those, good luck. You know, that Wukong engaged, the Nico engaged, then becomes infinitely harder when all the carries on the enemy team have some form of untargetability. The only person you can actually hit who can't make themselves untargetable is Carrier.
Yeah. And he is not a target that you want to be focusing because the rest of the team will kill you. That is kind of how that one's going to go. The one positive that I have here, guys, is for DK, is that they have more petals.
Yeah.
So they
that's something. I guess Owner isn't untargetable, but you can't damage him, so it might as well be the same thing.
You don't want to target him.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be on the same screen as him. Exactly. As aiming is now going to, speaking of which, just get flashed on. There's the shockwave, and where did he go? He's just gone.
Yeah, I didn't see much outplay potential in that situation. You know, I'm trying to analyze, trying to figure out what the strategy was. I think you just die when that happens. So now T1 heading over towards the Attica, and I think it's just a give up and let them have it.
I'm going to go with a foregone conclusion on that one. 9-0
now on the Pantheon. See, I thought after the previous game, I was like, okay, Owner really wants POM, you know? He really wants POM, and also I think he wants to go further in playoffs, and also I think he wants to go to Worlds. That's the vibe I'm getting from Owner right now.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't want his year to end. I think that might be something that you have hit the nail on.
That's what I'm picking up. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from his play.
Yeah, and we don't want to like jump to conclusions.
I don't want to speak for him.
No, exactly.
You know, but I feel like his play is speaking for him.
I would say
just a little bit at least.
Wanting to win is something I've picked up.
Yes.
From what he's putting down.
Yes, just a touch, a hint of wanting to win.
This has been a great understatement that you've just thrown out there multiple times.
Yes.
As aiming does make his way back onto the Rift, but I think that he is going to be very, very scared of doing anything at all. Gumayusi just going to be stealing away a blue buff, but I don't know whether that is going to be something he's going to commit to. As Owner does turn up, but there are some DK members in the area. And looking to move his way over. Lucid is in here though, so it should be that their blue will go over their way, and it will be secured. There we go.
Nice, blue buff secured. Good
there you go. There's something.
No? You got to take the good with the bad. And there was a lot of bad, so
yeah, yeah. As aiming now looking to try and defend this inner turret. It is going down pretty quickly though, as Faker possibly gonna get flanked here as Shiu gets on top of him, but the chains are gonna get broken, and now Shockwave connects onto this Aatrox and he has to flash away. He thought that he was starting the fight, but no, that's not how it's gonna work in this game.
Yeah, and Faker does have that Seeker's Arm Guard now, so
good luck.
Not dying so much. Doran went for the Oblivion Orb, so he's just, I mean, it's a good buy. There's a lot of healing on Dplus with the double Sundered Sky. But he's fine dying once he's pressed his ultimate.
Well, Pop Blossom is going to find one here, but Owner says goodbye, Beryl. And down he will go. Now Lucid finding himself in an awkward spot as the angle from Doran is glorious. Just executes aiming and looks to make his way out. The man drop comes in and Doran goes down, but it does not matter. It's only Sheer left alive. He's going to try and umbrally dash away. He's a very cute snowman. But this game is still looking 100% T1's.
Beautiful ult there from Doran, just decimating the backline of Dplus, but I feel like this game was looking pretty over long before that. 11-0-3 now for Owner on this Pantheon. Baron about to come through as well. T1 looking to take this one to match point.
Oh, okay. Another shockwave to come through here as Faker was pushing out this mid wave. And the Baron still hasn't gone down yet, and they still managed to get that inner. So Owner and Gumayusi going to be able to finish this one off, and there it goes. As it's all over but the crying, ladies and gentlemen.
There's just not much you can do.
Nope.
They're just so far. I mean, the thing is as well, it's another scenario where they go on a Faker. Has Flash, has Seeker's Arm Guard, does not care.
Looks like a tank. Like his health bar is just massive.
He is.
Angle.
And look, aiming just gets base. He gets one shot through
everything.
Dies. Gets the Killer Instinct shield, doesn't matter. Yes, Doran goes down. His job is done. And Faker, well, he lost a little bit of HP. That massive, see how he's like the 3 big quadrants of health? He lost one of them.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And now it's Soul Point here for T1 on top of everything else. I don't know whether we're going to see a Soul this game.
Now Doran has a Seeker's Arm Guard. Okay.
Aha.
Okay, now you're really in trouble.
Now he doesn't even trade his life for 5 people.
No.
He just kills 5 people.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very fair. But now they're looking to catch Faker out of position. Nice 2-man Shockwave does come in as Pop Blossom will pick him up, but the wild growth is there and Owner gets on top of aiming. They're like, that's cute, but our Orianna is a tank. Shiu trying to get in there, but Carrier just walks him around like he's taking the dog for a walk. And now Lucid, he's going to try and get out of there. And the Monkey not going to be able to affect the ending of this game in a positive way for DK. I think they're going to have to look for the next one if they want to make a victory, because T1 are moving towards match point, and they're doing so in style as 13-0-4 for this Pantheon. And if there's ever a way to break a losing streak, this is a pretty good way to do it.
Honestly, this has been the best owner performance we've had since last game.
Yeah,
he's been on a tear.
An absolute tear, yeah.
Absolute tear. Dplus getting forced back onto their fountain, trying to look for a return, weren't able to find it, and T1 will take us to match point in this series.
1 win away from Worlds, 1 win away from keeping their hopes alive to be the LCK champions. It's been a long time since T1's been able to hoist that trophy. They've been getting tired hoisting Worlds trophies. They want to be able to pick up the domestic one as well, and they are 1 step closer. 1 step that'll say how many days it's been and stuff like that. We'll get that, right?
It'll say Rammus support, and it'll say first time ever.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It will say that. That makes me a little bit sad, but what doesn't make me sad is fan chance. So let's get into game number 4. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 4. And yes, it's Rammus support. Rammus Jhin. I don't have very many stats on the lane, personally.
Yeah, and actually going Aftershock and Ignite, not going for Spellbook. So Carrier also going Ignite. And both AD carries going Cleanse. So this is a little bit of a different taste from what we've typically seen, where we have both AD carries with Barrier, both supports with Heal, and Spellbook on both. I think Aftershock obviously make a lot of sense because you get so much value from the resistances on Rammus. And the Ignite, one of that extra early pressure in this game.
This is a type of draft that makes me really like Fearless.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't get Rammus support without it, which is just fantastic. As
I mean, it is Barrel,
take the
so
first barrel.
if there was anyone who's going to do it.
Oh god, now there's Barrel and Barrels in the same game.
Yeah, we'll take it.
By the way, 2015 was the first time Faker was counterpicked by Morgana in the mid lane, so he's had some experience with it. Don't know whether he'll be caught off guard yet again, especially because it's already happened here in the LCK.
Was not a fresh pick.
No, certainly was not. As we're seeing the Rammus in action. Just wandering around in the brush. Pretty cool that Rammus gets picked right as the new Mario movie gets announced as well.
Yep. It doesn't have that much laning power is the only thing. And obviously, engaging onto the enemy AD carry is a bit tricky, especially because Leona can kind of block it. So it very much feels like a sort of pick where you're like, okay, if you go in, I'll kind of stop you.
Yep.
And then I'll roam. And that's kind of like the game plan.
And thankfully, Jhin can farm from range with a few of his buttons, and that's going to be pretty important as aiming tries to get some vision down as Ona
doesn't.
Not sure whether
Oh,
it
it's
was
Barrel's
spotted.
first Rammus support pick. Good that we have that.
Wow.
No, yeah.
There you go. The learning does come in. Flash immediately going to be traded here towards the bottom side, and they get aimings as well.
Okay.
Ona with a successful gank. As, yeah, there it is. The Rammus support LCK debut.
Yeah, we are not surprised to see that. Good reactions from Barrel not to get stunned there. Could have maybe been in trouble if he was. But still, Ona, despite not being on the Pantheon, despite being on the Silas, not the early jungle ganking champion you expect to just spam gank, but getting a lot of value already in this game, burning both summoners from the enemy bot lane. Will definitely make things easier for Carrier and Guma in this one.
Yep, feeling pretty good. DK not going to be too worried about it. You can see the gold has not changed or anything like that. It's great stun to come through onto Gumayushi. I think Barrel cannot quite get in range for the taunt.
I think if you asked Barrel how he'd feel after that gank, he'd probably say, okay.
I think he probably would. As the Powerball has
Powerball into Ignite?
Okay, there it is.
There it is!
Oh! He called it and even gets the cleanse! This Rammus value so high already.
The tech. He's a Noah.
All right. Now just going to walk in and start hitting the turret. Get some money. Look at that.
Got to get the Willed Atlas value.
Okay.
You know, he's a big fan of Atlas, so, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty nice. Don't make me blush. Don't make me blush. As Lucid, he's a hot dog. And he's just hanging out in the enemy jungle, as right now Carrier is going to sweep his way through. We'll see whether he does get in trouble, as there's the Powerball once again. Let's see whether he hits the jackpot, as Carrier going to be taken down to about 50%. And Gumayusi comes on over here. Maybe they've overstepped their bounds, as the Chain Lash not going to quite find anything.
Yeah, and Guma bounced the what's it called again? The
double up?
The double up. He bounced it off the hot dog.
Oh. Okay, she not going to be able to quite find the angle here, as aiming almost gets the deadly flourish, but gets the flash out of Doran.
Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, he bounced a double up off the hot dog to hit Lucid.
Oh, that's some anti-Neferi tech.
Yeah, so getting a good amount of value there.
Well, so far, nothing to report as far as advantages built up. First Dragon is going to be a Hex tech, so that'll take that one out of the pool of big souls that could potentially happen.
Wait, Doran, he can just Rammus onto you.
Yeah, he can eat oranges. I just don't know whether he'll necessarily be K, as the taunt does come in. There is the orange, and there is Doran being K. So we've got eat oranges, be K, and then you've also got Rammus, who's just always okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of okay. On both sides of the rift here is the Powerball once again going to come on through here as Deadly Flourish comes down. Carrier will turn up. As Beryl is doing his very best to get value out of this, but he will just get hit by this Zenith Blade as in goes Carrier, and now just looking to try and latch on to Beryl. Shield of Daybreak comes in, but Beryl is going to be okay. The flash from Ona! And he tanks up the turret, but he is not worried about it at all, and as it turns out, Beryl is not actually okay.
Carrier coming in at the perfect time, and I thought Beryl might be okay if he didn't get hit by the barrel, but Ona finds the kill first on the board, and it's been a great series for the T1 jungler so far. Doesn't feel like it's stopping here.
Not at all.
Though, she will get a demolish down on this plate.
Tibbers. Okay, Lucid looking for a little bit of an angle here, as they might get a bear surprise from the brush.
I feel like they honestly could have dove that, but it just spooked a bit by Faker moving down. Because remember, it's no cleanse on Guma. Shiwu could have set up the
if in doubt, if at first you don't succeed, taunt again.
The walk animation is just so,
it's fantastic, isn't it?
I'm just going to be real.
This is Molten Rabbit as well, right? One of the oldest skins in the game.
Yeah, no matter what happens with this series, no matter the outcome, whether Dplus continue on in their playoff run or not, isn't this the way Beryl wants to go?
Oh, nice taunt to come down there, as Doran was kind of baiting. Cannon Barrage does come on through, as there is the slam from Ona. Picks up yet another one onto Beryl. Oh dear. It's not feeling as okay as it was.
Guys, is Rammus support a scaling pick? I need to...
We could have a look at the support Rammus stats from the LCK to figure that one out, as we're going to check this one out from Ona's perspective.
He closes so much distance here. The E to the minion. Oh man, that was clean.
Yeah.
Max range E to the minion. And then here, you know, Beryl's trying to step up. I feel like roaming would have been better than trying to gank the own lane that has the oranges constantly. And the little slam from Ona.
Yeah, he's like basically Pantheon again.
You know what's the thing as well, right? You're probably thinking, well, how many times will you have seen Rammus that much? How much...
Rammus cam!
Oh man, this is beautiful.
Oh, that is fantastic. Can we have that permanently? I don't need the minimap.
Yeah. I just love the walk,
yeah.
You know? This is Beryl at his finest.
I don't
He may be 0-2, but he's okay.
He is. And he will always be okay. Even if this is the last game that we see from DK in 2025. He's going to be okay.
I don't think Chronicle's going to be okay.
Nah, he'll be okay. He'll recover. I'm sure of it. As Lucid is starting off on these grubs.
Gary actually level 6 already, so being in a lot of XP. So that Solar Flare is available.
Yeah.
A little spooky.
Speaking of spooky, Ona making his way over, and Beryl getting some work done yet again. Soul Shackle's picked up here by Ona, but that is 2 grubs now secured. And it looks like T1 not wanting to contest for the third.
Yeah, Shiwu being here, and the fact that Doran doesn't have ult, doesn't have TP, he's down bot lane. Dplus move their top laner up, and that's enough to secure them. All three grubs in this situation, so good moves from them.
Oh.
Ona has the Morgana ult, though.
I think they have a game plan.
Beryl, be careful.
They are challenging how okay Beryl is at every turn. As now Aiming's going to get slowed down. There's a Zenith Blade. That'll get the flash out from Aiming. And that is job done here towards his topside shoot. Does make it down towards the bottom lane. We'll be able to clear things out. An 800 gold lead has occurred after those first couple of kills onto Beryl. And it means that Ona is really accelerated once again. And I think he's the guy that you don't want to have accelerated in this series because he's been playing so incredibly well.
Oh, man. Coming in with a Morgana ult.
Oh,
I think Aiming's going to try and ult to assist Beryl.
Well, let's see whether the curtain call is going to work because Beryl is very, very dead. Feats of Warfare do come down, and Carrier is able to tank up the turret. It is just that easy as Showmaker comes in. Lucid is taking a dragon. They are trading things for the Rammus.
Look, let's be honest, right? I think other players in the elimination game of playoffs,
yes,
do or die situation, you're 0-3-0.
Yeah.
Could tilt, could maybe, you know, be a little bit nervous.
Not Beryl.
Not Beryl. I think he
is the right one to be 0-3
He's
in this
cool
game.
as a cucumber. Now, his teammates might be feeling the pressure, but I'm certain that Beryl, he's having a good time.
I agree. I just don't know whether that's a good thing for DK yet.
Yeah.
That's the problematic
Jury's out on that one.
Yeah. As Gumayusi now parked in this mid lane, we'll be able to clear out these minions.
Ona gets the kill again.
Yeah. So he's 750
He already
gold ahead.
has a rocket belt.
Yeah. Doesn't feel very fair, as Lucid's still looking for that Eclipse as quickly as possible. Deadly Flourish comes down. Beryl doesn't find the Powerball. And he will just back away. Ooh, Lucid going for some different tech. Profane Hydra coming on in.
Just give you a good amount of burst with that proc, with that active when you get up close. But yeah, big lead for T1 so far, and particularly on that jungle. Obviously, if Ona does overstep and get punished, can wipe a good amount of that lead away. But so far, definitely Dplus still very playable from this position.
Yeah. Playable, but somewhat difficult, especially when there's a Gangplank. Gangplank going to be printing money towards the top side of the map. You can see already has a gold lead, but a CS disadvantage. That is kind of the TF way. And the Gangplank fits the same bill. Solar Flare going to come on through as... Oh, if at first... wait, they killed Beryl 3 times. Well, never mind. He is going to be able to slam his way over the wall. That was close. Nicely played, but another one does come in there. And they landed onto Lucid. He just gets blown up. And now Beryl will maybe survive. Gets the Powerball out. Is now Aiming, trying to get some work done onto Ona. But they had the Cannon Barrage there in position as well. So Ona is going to be just fine. And it's Lucid's turn to die in this game this time.
4 kills now for Ona in this game. Able to pick up another... There's Beryl going back to base. Just walking back home. She's in a little bit of trouble here. Has to back off away from the tower with the pressure from Carrier.
Malignance is done here for Faker as well, so that is a big spike to come on in. He's about 20 CS ahead.
For a second, just because we were talking about Beryl, you could say Malignance is done for Beryl, and I was like, what?
That would be dope.
Yeah. Looking rough right now for T1.
Oh, no.
Looking rough for the Dplus fans as well.
Yeah. And
they are on struggle street.
Yeah, if we got a shot of the space, it would look very similar. Or at least a shot of just Chronicler. As the Trinity Forces are now in, and yeah, no, he's probably on the floor in the corner.
He's left the building.
Yeah, or left the building.
So this was pretty close. Beryl just making it over the wall with the ultimate. And I was like, damn, he like pixel perfect just got over there. And then Dplus try and make this into something. Like Lucid's like, okay, I'll go in.
It's a triple Venn diagram as well as all of those circles. It's great.
Yeah, Ona nearly gets Beryl as well, but just disengaged from the turret. Using the minion as a little escape route again. And Aiming just not really doing enough damage yet to finish him off. And now, Ona has a Seeker's Arm Guard, so he's even harder to kill. He already felt pretty difficult to kill.
And it's only going to get worse from here. We do have Blackfire Torch completed here for Showmaker, but he's been a bit of a non-factor so far in this game as Carrier just wraps around looking for Shiu. He does press the Grandmaster's Might button, but I still think he's just dead. Lucid turns up, but a little late and finds a couple of pickles, but not too much more.
Yeah, the Grandmaster might not. it seems.
Yeah.
After that one. Well, at least not all the kills are on Ona now. Carrier picks one up, should be able to finish his redemption with that one. It just feels a little bit rough for Dplus from this position. And the composition, I feel like from behind, lacking in the damage department a bit.
Yeah.
You know, the Jhin, definitely not a ton of damage from behind.
Oh,
Neferi and Morgana are definitely these champions where if you're behind, you just can't really kill targets who are a bit bulkier.
And the Gangplank as well is just getting out of control. Gangplank with tempo in a game is just nigh unstoppable.
I mean, he actually has a bigger lead than Ona does.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous as now Showmaker tries to put down the Soul Shackles and the Redemption helps Faker out here and just destroys the Morgana. Cheeky little assist there from Carrier across the map.
Yeah, so
6-0.
Counter matchup, by the way.
Yeah.
Not going so hot.
I don't think the counter factors in Redemption. Otherwise, it would have been fine.
I feel like that, you know, the answer to the counter is just drop a barrel in their head.
Yeah.
Oh no, barrel!
Oh dear, gonna get engaged on once again. Gumayusi gonna come on over, and another slam. This time it just fails, but that's fine. Beryl will get himself out of there. Has to use the ult to do so.
Yep, little misplay there from Ona. Not sure would have really led to the kill.
Ramescam.
Yeah.
I love Ramescam.
I'm just glad we can enjoy that, you know, in these trying times.
Look at him, back on the map, getting stuff done. Not dead. Okay, 5,000 gold is the lead, though, for T1 at 15 minutes into this game.
There was that whole momentum thing. How,
yeah.
you know, obviously the strong game 1 from Dplus, and then game 2 was, you know, was close-ish at first, and then game 3 was more one-sided, and game 4 is this.
Yes.
Feeling very one-sided at this point, and I think it's going to need like a balance of a mistake from T1, like significant mistakes, but also like a big punish from Dplus.
He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. Lucid might be okay as well as Faker throws down a bear, but the doggo is looking to take him down. Still very, very close as it's a 1-for-1, but that is 1 on the board for DK.
And I'm pretty sure Faker's worth a lot more gold than Beryl is right now.
I would say so.
I will definitely say... Oh no. Wait,
he just gets ignited. And the Solar Flare comes down, thankfully. Black Shield is going to be there, but he still dies! The last tick! And that's why you buy potions, ladies and gentlemen, I guess.
The thing as well, Carrier had redemption.
Oh man, so he was still able to probably kill him.
And he just knew he didn't need it. He was just like, you know what? Calculated. Had it in his head.
Easy.
Worked out the math in a moment. It was like, I don't even need this.
Well, Deadly Flourish comes down. Cone put up there by Gumayusi as Beryl trying to protect his AD carry. That's a dicey one.
Well, you know how obviously we were looking at the jungle matchup and we're like, right, Ona's 4-0, that's a big lead.
Got it.
Not really, because there's a bigger lead between the supports right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a 1.3k gold lead between Carrier and Beryl. Again, we haven't seen Rammus support before, so maybe you're supposed to be this far behind in gold.
That's the strategy, actually.
Yes.
As it turns out.
Perhaps.
Well, Carrier just gets the ward in and lights him on fire. And just gets a little bit of extra damage with the Solar Flare.
Well, I think the Black Shield blocked the damage. So
it should have, yeah.
He's just sending the message.
And the message was received.
Yeah.
Yep. It just says, you gotta die. And he did. All right, Carrier now in position once again as aiming looks to try and lock him down with the Blast Cone.
Oh, Beryl
going to get him to safety.
The locket buy, not the redemption. So once the extra resists, the locket gives.
See whether that's going to work out here as the curtains have been called. Gumayusi going to get slowed down momentarily. A couple of bullets will land as now Showmaker. Let's see whether he can land the Dark Binding. And he can't. So Gumayusi does take a lot of bullets. And now we've got Lucid going in and then going untargetable. We'll see whether he can actually survive as the Pickle's not going to connect. And Owner is so incredibly strong. He'll find Beryl yet again as Shiu now trying to do something. But he cannot protect his Bowser. He is going to be able to slam his way out. And there is Owner going golden as well. Man, he can afford that? That is ridiculous. As Showmaker looks for the Soul Shackles onto Carrier. He does walk his way out. It's only Lucid that's died so far, but now Showmaker might be the one going down. As he flashes away, the Dark Binding will be avoided. And Ona now looks for some chains, but does not get them. And Doran is taking it in a turret in the top lane.
And they got a turret mid as well. I feel like Ona's chains just go further. You know, I feel like the chain length has just been so long whenever he's throwing them out. And Dplus just going from bad to... Barrel's
Come on, Barrel! Let's protect the turret. He got the barrel.
Gets the taunt.
Barrel versus barrel, as it turns out, it's barrel. Okay, we got a flanking teleport. Let's see whether this one's going to work out as Lucid turns up as well. Doran is the target. He eats some oranges, not quite as K as he wants to be, and so that is a kill. Coming on through for aiming.
And it's only an 8,800 gold lead. It's not, you know, it's, you know.
There we go, Rammus Cam.
Guys, look at the Rammus.
Rammus Cam is helping. Was that a steal? No, Lucid managed to get it.
Look at him go.
There it is. All right.
I like the Celestial opposition, just forming that perfect sphere around him.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
He is spherical already. It's just nice to have the coordination of spheres.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there was a step in the right direction, right? Doran died. I don't know whether it really impacts the outcome.
500 gold ahead.
Yeah. He has a collector and a BF sword in comparison to the tunneler. All right, flash out from Faker. Showmaker looks for a bit of an angle. Curtain Call comes in alongside the Black Shield, and aiming is able to finish it off.
I like how Faker was like, maybe Tippers can block the shot.
Didn't quite work out there, but still, sometimes you just got to throw it down. He's got Malignance, it'll be fine. It'll be back off. As they might be able to get themselves a turret. That could be a big deal.
Oh, with the objective bounty.
There it is.
Hey, the gold lead.
It's only 7.7k.
Well, less than it has been for a while. Okay, Barrel's going in.
This might be a bridge too far, as Shiu is actually over here. Looks to dive in on top of Carrier, but the Cloud Rift going to be helping out. Now the Cannon Barrage comes on through. Grandmasters might once again. Not going to quite be enough as the bullet time finishes off the Jax. And now Lucid just desperately trying to jump over a wall. He might be able to do so, but instead, it's Gumiushi that locks this one up. T1 dropping their wallets on them in the end is now aiming, looking for an angle. Showmaker, can you actually find the CC? As Barrel power slams! And he's dead. Gumiushi's going to be able to lock that one up. And now Showmaker, the chains just barely missing a link. And Showmaker will be able to walk his way out. The Rift Herald partying here on this top side. As Doran, where are we going?
Oh, Doran?
He could have
hit the tower.
T1
question mark thing in the tower. Doran. Like, what are you doing?
He just wants Shelly to help with the Otacon.
Yeah, there were definitely some question mark things coming out on Doran for that one.
Yeah, he was allowing Shelly to now help them secure this, which will go to T1 while we watch this replay.
No man left behind, or no woman.
Yes.
Keeping Shelly with them. So, yeah, the binding comes through, and unfortunately Tippers not able to block that one. So they get the Annie, and then Dplus is like, hey, it's go time. We have a man advantage. We can make something happen. Unfortunately, they don't have a gold advantage.
No.
And they just kind of get run down and just aren't really able to pose any threat at all at any point during this passage of play. It's just a big running montage.
They did manage to escape with a few people, though.
Yeah, not everyone died, so it could be worse.
Indeed. Okay, this dragon now up and available. T1, they can take it whenever they would like, is what I would expect.
I feel like I ran out of good things to say like 7 minutes ago. We need the Rammus Cam again.
Yeah, Rammus Cam could really help.
Yeah.
We're in need. We'll see whether we can get that message across so we can get some Rammus Cam for everyone that is looking for it.
There we go.
Thank goodness. Look at him go.
Look how great that looks. Little side to side.
He looks like a prize from one of those gacha machines.
He does. You gotta open him up.
Oh, and if you got that prize, it would be so good.
Yeah. I feel better already.
Right? Oh, that was great. That was exactly what we needed. Thank you so much, LCK. And now we're back into it. We were talking about the fact that T1 could just take the dragon. They indeed took the dragon.
Yep.
Okay. DK have the only Sundered Sky on the map. That's got to be a good thing, right?
Ooh, actually, yes. Sundered Sky advantage.
Yeah. They don't have Collector advantage, though, because there are 2 of them on T1.
Yeah. They also don't have Redemption advantage.
True. They do have Locket advantage, though. Are we just going to go through items that each team has specifically?
Don't have propane. They do have propane hardware advantage. Don't have malignance advantage.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, they're soon to not have death cap advantage either, as Faker is about to put that together. It's a little dangerous, as Beryl and Carrier do at least cross paths. Not too much more going to happen, as DK are restricted to behind their inner turrets. That is adorable.
Look at him.
What is happening here?
What is going on?
What the heck? That's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm so glad that the Korean broadcast as well has realized that this is the more important thing to focus on. As all right, we got a slam on in here from Beryl, who taunts up Ona. Oh, it's not actually on the Korean broadcast. This is actually Jisun and Yundo that are doing this just for us. Oh, that is even better.
We're blessed.
As we might be blessed with a team fight as well, as Beryl is in a bit of trouble. Some bullets coming on through there, stolen away by Ona, as it's curtains for Beryl once again for the 6th time. We call that the reverse Ona from the Pantheon game. He's trying to go the distance.
You know what?
The other direction.
If he's gonna go out, this is the most Beryl way to go out I could possibly imagine.
It certainly is.
Oh man.
No, not like this.
And the thing is, this is a very serious series, right? The stakes are huge.
They are.
They're on the border of going on in playoffs, securing the spot at Worlds, a chance to play against Gen G, to go on further and try and get the LCK trophy. But we also have a 0-6-1 Rammus support. What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, it is hard to keep up the epic nature of what this best of 5 represents. So maybe we'll save that for when Nexuses are exploding.
I think that's a good plan.
Some shackle coming
Okay.
on through. Dark Binding will connect here as the taunt comes down as well. The chain CC comes in. Doran is difficult to kill, but aiming, he's got a 3rd bullet, and he's going to put it in the Pirate.
There's some value.
Something back.
And you know, aiming's 3-0, so he's bordering on being able to do the nicer team thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
He's playing Jin.
Yeah.
Which to me makes that irrelevant.
Oh, true.
Sadly. But I'm a bit of a Jin anti. Less so this year. I feel like I have turned a corner. Still don't like it very much as far as being able to do damage in the later portions of the video game.
I think it's not really helpful when you're 10,000 goal behind.
Yes, the 0-6 Rammus situation.
I was going to say there were only 9,900, but then it ticked over to 10,000 again.
Yeah, it got worse again, didn't it? Infinity Edge is now done for Gumushi, speaking of things getting worse, but aiming does have 3 items as well. They're just worse.
Yeah, I mean...
Not that much worse. Bit worse.
Okay. Look, all they have to do is if they kill Doran before the fight starts, and they don't expend anything major, then the gold's basically even.
Correct. There you go. Also, all they have to do is kill the Nexus, as Beryl is going to discover Ona, or has Ona discovered Beryl? Not sure, but Gumyushi's going to make his way up as well.
Oh my god, he nearly died.
Yeah, so much damage.
Look at his health!
Yeah, the cannon barrage comes down, and Beryl just barely survives.
You know, if he wasn't playing Rammus, maybe he would have died, so...
Oh, there it is, the Rammus support value coming in hot.
Yeah.
Didn't even need to use the locket.
God bless.
Fine. As, all right, flash in from Shu, looking for Faker here. But Faker's still offering a fair bit of damage back, and
they got him.
They did manage to get him.
Okay.
And also getting the bear value as well, as buttons.
There could have been a Teemo there, you know, for all we knew.
And this is Summoner's Rift. There is always a Teemo there.
Exactly. So I think they were maybe thinking Lucid Might Step, but I don't know.
Sometimes you got to send it.
Sometimes you just send it.
And honestly, them
like,
not having those buttons
that's
doesn't
a
really
3.5 level lead.
Oh my god.
This is just... Guys, in case you thought the game was close, in case you...
Yeah.
Maybe you've got like actual tunnel vision and you can't see the outside of the screen, you can't see the scoreboard at the top.
Oh, Shiu actually able to avoid the barrels. That was very cute. Does manage to get the last one as well, and leaps away.
There you go.
That was a positive play.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, if you just can't see any of the scoreboard, then I'm glad we have these little pop-ups to remind us that the game...
Also, the minions just got bounty gold.
Nice. Good work, minions.
Okay, let's have a look at this one again as, Faker sieging an inner turret here at this stage of the game. And Shiu just jumps on him.
Yeah. Able to find Faker when he didn't have his stun immediately prepped. He did obviously prep it with the tibbers, but the stun came down first and aiming there just to help with the follow-up. It's little things. Is it enough to get them back in the game? Absolutely not. But if this keeps happening, again and 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 again,
like it already has,
and again,
yes,
then we can have a conversation about whether that's enough to get them back in the game. But for now, still very favored towards T1. They are now one dragon away from Seoul.
I like
and
this.
Still setting up around.
This is
Baron.
full screen, Rammus Cam. Did you see that?
Yeah, they're speeding around in the... Oh, they're just starting up the Baron. They're like, guys, we've been messing around too much. Let's spice things up a bit.
Well, it's precisely what they're going to do. Lucid going to be able to dodge the Solar Flare relatively well. Bullet Time is going to get eaten as well. And Beryl finding a wraparound, looking for Carrier. Let's see whether they can actually lock him down. Down he will go. There's now Shiu. Oh, the Cannon Barrage not getting the most value. Shiu's actually able to go golden as well. But the Leap Strike gets himself out of there. Faker follows with a huge bear, though. Drops it on top of them. Aiming just barely limping his way out. And it's the flash in from Ona. Finds the slam to take down the Jin. Showmaker just doing his best to clear out some of these minions. And the Soul Shackles to come on forward. He's dead, ladies and gentlemen, although he does flash to get himself... Oh my, what the heck just happened? Okay, Showmaker's sort of lived. This game's a mess.
There's a lot of damage coming through. I feel like T1 just beat them down with the wallets. Only Carrier dies. The rest of Dplus just have to run away. Well, I mean, only Showmaker. But he's still running. He's still going.
He is. He's on a mission.
Nowhere is safe for him. And the Baron's going to go over to T1. Hard to see. I mean, initially, they got the pick on a Carrier, right? They go for Lucid. Lucid able to dodge away from the Solar Flare and then go untargetable from the ult from the MF. And then here, they get the root back. They actually managed to kill Carrier. Then the follow-up fight, Shiwu just gets, like, exploded. Does manage to just survive with the stasis. Beryl gives him a root out, but then Faker flashes over and does so much damage. And look at the Pyroclasm that follows aiming. Nearly takes him out. Tibbers is just trying to run him down. And then the Power Slam. Actually, it's not... What's his ult called?
It is Slam. I can't remember what the first part of the slam. Soaring Slam.
Oh, because it's Q's Power Ball. So I was combining abilities.
You were.
Sorry about that.
I used to think it was the Tremors. I like the Tremors from Rammus.
Yeah?
When his ultimate just did a circle around him a bunch of times and it just went ba-bonk, ba-bonk, ba-bonk.
Yeah, it's pretty cool now, and a little like flip.
It's definitely an actual ultimate now. Yeah. It feels a lot better.
If only he was an actual champion as a support.
Yeah.
Oh man, this has been a journey. 12,000 gold lead. Closing on 13,000. T1 pushing in to end the game, end the series, and Dplus final chance to put a stop to this.
Well, let's see what they can do here. The wallets are extraordinarily heavy. Knees weak and all that sort of stuff. Not sure about Mom Spaghetti because Boris doesn't sell that. This turret is going to survive at least for the moment, but Ona is just going to come through and take this one down. That is a taunt on top of Ona, and he goes golden with that Zhonya's purchased earlier. Now Lucid in a little bit of trouble as he is able to get through the base gate.
Ona's 5 levels up on Lucid. He is 5 levels up on Lucid.
He's level 18. He's 2 levels above the highest level on the other team, and now they go in. Faker is going to go down. Shiu's going to go golden once again. The interruption is decent as Lucid gets into the backline to take down Gumayushi. And Shiu looking for an angle. There is no Zhonya's on Ona, and that is actually going to be almost an ace. Doran is alive, but DK just won a fight.
How did they just win a fight this far down in gold? It was 13,000 plus. Ona was 5 levels up on his counterpart, and Dplus aren't ready to be done yet. Look, level 18 to level 13. T1 think they have the series done. They think they've tasted victory. They think they're done. And they go in over-aggressive here. Faker ends up stepping too far. I believe gets hit by a binding.
Let's see how this one actually does. Have Deadly Flourish.
Deadly Flourish comes out. The follow-up is all there. He gets deleted. And then they try and chase in afterwards. And that 4th shot from aiming, the follow-up as well from Shiwu and from Lucid does enough. And then the root onto Ona under the tower. Remember, he doesn't have the stasis anymore. He goes down. And that's a ton of gold for Dplus and a ton of experience as well. This game, for the past maybe 20 minutes, has looked done and over. And look, it is still not in a good position for Dplus, but it's the most life we've seen from them for maybe half an hour.
And it's been 32 minutes of this game. Maybe you can include part of the other game as well, but being able to get a few things back, certainly important, as DK might be in position to try and challenge for this dragon. Aiming is pretty strong, as you can see by that dragon damage. And now Lucid Oh my god, those barrels hurt so much. The cannon barrage comes down as well. Aiming does a lot of damage, but that is going to be Cloud Soul coming in. But there's the slam from Beryl. They're looking to try and take down Gumayusi, but Owner is able to take him down. Oh my god, the damage from T1 is disgusting. Showmaker looking to lock down Faker, but I just don't think it's going to work. Aiming finding some bullets, but there he goes. That's the ace. That's the last-ditch effort. And T1 here in Game 4 will book their ticket to Worlds and give themselves a chance to still win the LCK here in 2025.
The back-to-back world champions won't be denied an opportunity to run it back one more time and still can run that lower bracket and try and win the LCK. T1 ramped up and take down Dplus 3-1.
Just in the nick of time, ladies and gentlemen, but man, if like we talk about this quite often, the ease of POM votes, this one has never